a Kryptonian who started his cultivation journey through the multiverse. Welcome back, brave explorers of impossible worlds. We are excited to have you here to continue this odyssey together. Before we continue, everything you'll hear is pure fiction. So please don't try to replicate combat techniques at home. This wonderful story in all its rights belong to its brilliant original author. We are only the messengers of entertainment. Want another dose of adventure? Subscribe to our YouTube channel so you don't miss a single chapter. And if you can't wait, our Patreon has exclusive surprises you'll love. Chapter 26. Chen Tianqi and his party walked through the secret passage and came to a huge secret room. In the middle of the secret room hung a huge bronze tripod, and many corpses were hung in the huge pit below. Liu Jing looked at the tragic scene in front of him and his expression changed. He fell into memories again. Finally, he was patted by Song Meng and brought back to reality. Liu Jing took a deep breath and said to everyone, "It seems that there is no way out after we get here." Chen Tianqi was groping for the huge bronze door in front of him. Suddenly, his hand touched a stone plate with completely different texture rules. He pressed down hard, and the bronze door in front of him slowly opened. After the bronze door opened, Chen Tianqi and his group were surprised to find that it was Chen Tianqi and his group on the opposite side. Chen Tianqi and his group surrounded a middle-aged man in a yellow robe in the middle. When they saw the bronze door open, they were very alert. But soon they found that it was Chen Tianqi and his group, and their faces turned to surprise. Zhang Weiniang walked towards Liu Jing in surprise. "Brother Jing, why are you here? Are you okay?" Song Meng was the first to speak. "This is probably the Black Demon sect's lair. Senior brother Liu is fine. With junior brother Chen here, it's hard to get hurt. Especially those puppets, they took care of a blood servant in 2 or 3 moves." Chen Tianqi just hugged Chen Tianqi's waist and nodded to the others. He heard Song Meng praising him loudly, and he couldn't help rolling his eyes. Liu Jing also said in a gentle voice with a smile on his face, "Junior brother Chen is indeed brave. That puppet saved my life several times. Zioba actually knows how to use puppets." Zhang Weiniang was surprised. "Senior brother Liu, senior brother Song, thank you for your praise. It's just a strange trick, not worth mentioning. Who is this person?" Seeing that everyone's eyes were focused on him, Chen Tianqi immediately changed the subject and looked at the true body of the Black Evil sect leader. When the Black Evil sect leader saw Chen Tianqi looking at him, he hurried forward and saluted respectfully. "Dear immortal masters, I am grateful for your help. I am the king of you, the emperor of you. There are mazes here. How did you wake up? Did you meet anyone along the way?" Han Li asked him with a puzzled look on his face. The leader of the Black Evil cult performed very well, showing a panic expression. This little guy doesn't know that I saw these immortal masters as soon as I woke up," Dong Zuiner said in a delicate voice while waving a fan. "Brother Han, why are you so timid? How did he wake up? We must have woken him up. And this operation is really boring, just dealing with some miscellaneous soldiers." Han Li ignored her, but Song Meng on the side did not indulge her. "Junior sister Dong, how can you talk like that? I gave you an easy task and you are not happy about it. If you came to our side, you might not be alive today." Dong Zuiner was furious when she saw someone confronting her, and then her face became aggrieved and delicate. Wu Zhuan, who was standing by, saw Dong Zuiner aggrieved and felt a pain in his heart, and stood in front of Dong Zuiner. "Senior brother Song, please be careful with your words and actions when you go out. Junior sister Dong is inexperienced, she doesn't understand, but as a senior brother, don't you understand? Why are you arguing with junior sister Dong? Hey, how can you talk like that?" Song Meng saw that Wu Zhuan was actually obsessed with him and started to fight him, so he immediately rolled up his sleeves and fought him. Seeing this, Liu Jing walked to the middle to stop them. "Okay, everyone, stop talking. The leader of the Black Evil cult has not been found yet. This is not the time for internal strife. Since everyone is gathered together, it is just right to find the leader of the Black Evil cult together." Song Meng and Wu Zhuan quickly calmed down after hearing Liu Jing's words. Then Chen Tianqi and his party walked deeper. After walking for a while, Chen Tianqi and his party came to a reception room and walked in cautiously. Chen Tianqi looked around, and his spiritual sense had already sensed the location of the Black Evil cult leader's external incarnation. He immediately gave orders to the invisible puppet. "I am sorry for not welcoming you, but since you are here, please don't leave." A black shadow fell from above the reception room to the main seat in front. As soon as he finished speaking, a ferocious tail thorn pierced through the chest of the incarnation of the black evil sect leader, along with a chair. The incarnation vomited blood, tightly grasped the puppet's tail in his hand, pointed at Chen Tianqi and the others, and tremblingly cursed despicable me. Chen Tianqi then ordered the puppet to finish off the enemy. The claw blade flashed with cold light, and the incarnation's head fell to the ground. Liu Jing and the others were shocked. They thought it would be a big fight, but it ended so abruptly. Chen Tianqi also noticed that the expression on the King of Yu's face changed from shock to anger, and finally became a little sad. Song Meng shouted at this time. "Oh my god, junior brother Chen, you are so insidious. This puppet can also become invisible?" And it even hid it from the leader of the black evil sect, who was in the late stage of foundation building. Chen Tianqi laughed and looked proud. "To deal with evil, you have to be more cunning and give them a taste of their own medicine. As for my puppet, it has the skin of a special monster, yin kiding, added to it. It cannot be seen without special means of detection. That's why I can kill it with one strike." Liu Jing's expression changed from astonishment to joy. Junior brother Chen is right. To deal with evil, we must fight back with our own methods. There is no need to talk about morality. It seems that we have successfully eradicated the black evil sect in this operation. Just as everyone relaxed their vigilance and thought that it was over, a hole suddenly opened slowly above the reception room, and everyone looked at it. When everyone's attention was attracted, the King of Yu suddenly turned into blood shadow and attacked Chen Tianqi from behind, directly pushing Chen Tianqi to the top. "Husband!" Chen Tianqi screamed, and then flew up anxiously. Everyone was shocked again, and without thinking too much, they quickly chased after him. The King of Yu saw that his brother, who was also his only incarnation, was killed. He immediately opened the road to the library, and wanted to kill Chen Tianqi directly when everyone was not paying attention. He chose Chen Tianqi as the target because he killed his brother, and secondly, he thought that the puppeteer's body was weak and vulnerable, and thirdly, his puppet was indeed tricky. As a result, when he reached for Chen Tianqi's lower back, he found that this was not flesh, but steel. Chen Tianqi's consciousness had long sensed the King of Yu's eagerness, and in order to seduce him out, he had to sacrifice his body. Chen Tianqi reached back with his hand, grabbed the King of Yu's arm, and threw him out directly. At this time, everyone came up one after another. Chen Tianqi rushed to Chen Tianqi with an anxious look, and kept groping with both hands to check the injury. "Husband, are you okay? Are you hurt? Junior brother Chen, are you okay?" Liu Jing and the others asked. Chen Tianqi held the hands that kept groping him and said to Chen Tianqi and the others in a comforting tone, "I'm fine. I've been prepared for this man." After everyone breathed a sigh of relief, Song Meng pointed at the King of Yu and cursed, "You bastard, you're really good at hiding. Wait and see if we don't beat you to death." Liu Jing also said to everyone without hesitation, "Attack with all your strength, don't hold back, this must be the real leader of the black evil sect." Chapter 27. All of a sudden, all kinds of magic spells attacked the King of Yu. The King of Yu dodged quickly, and then a burst of blood surged from his body, turning into a blood cocoon. Seeing this, everyone attacked it with all kinds of attacks, but the blood cocoon was unharmed. Liu Jing saw that this blood cocoon seemed to be harder than the blood cocoons of the 4 blood servants before, and the beating frequency was faster. He was uneasy and immediately sent a message to everyone. "Fellow Daoists, let's transfer our magic power to activate the Phoenix Talisman and destroy this demon in one fell swoop." Then Liu Jing flew into the air and sacrificed the true treasure Phoenix Talisman. Seeing this, everyone also directly transferred their magic power to Liu Jing. With the support of everyone's magic power, Liu Jing no longer needed to use source blood to activate the Phoenix Talisman. Then, with a huge magic power blessing, the Phoenix Talisman directly transformed into a flaming phoenix and attacked the blood cocoon. The fire phoenix passed through the blood cocoon, and the King of Yu inside resisted for 1 or 2 breaths before being burned to ashes. Liu Jing slowly fell down. Han Li saw Liu Jing, who did not hesitate to contribute a true treasure to eliminate demons and defend the way, and admired him from the bottom of his heart. Senior brother Liu is so righteous that he is willing to sacrifice a real treasure to eradicate this evil cultivator. I admire you. Liu Jing heard the praise with a little pride on his face. Junior brother Han, thank you for your praise. It is our duty to fight against demons and defend the way. Since the black evil sect has been wiped out, let's take a few days off and then return to the Yellow Maple Valley. Then the group cleaned up the mess and returned to the Qin mansion. Chen Tianqi was very satisfied with the result of this black evil sect copy. Not only did the survival rate of the few people who were originally there increase to the maximum, but it also tested the combat effectiveness of the updated mecha puppets. The storage bag on King Yu was burned, but the jade slips, brocade handkerchiefs, bowls, and blood jade cones were left behind. Chen Tianqi only took the brocade handkerchief because it was the map of the Zushan Palace. Liu Jing gave the rest of the things to Han Li and Song Meng, who had made great efforts in this operation. Han Li chose the jade slips, and Song Meng took the blood jade cone. When they arrived at the Qin mansion, after a round of greetings, everyone returned to their resting rooms. The next day at noon, Chen Tianqi put on his clothes and walked out of the room. As soon as he left the courtyard, he met Han Li at the corner. "Junior brother Han, what a coincidence, you are out for a walk too." Han Li came here to give Chen Tianqi the elixir as agreed, and to see if he could get the blood coagulation 5 elements pill. "Hello, senior brother Chen. I'm here to give you this time's elixir." Then Han Li took out a storage bag from his body and handed it to Chen Tianqi. Chen Tianqi took the things, took out a bottle of elixir from the storage bag, opened it, put it under his nose and smelled it carefully. He found that the herbs used in the production were at least 100 years old, many years older than the previous ones, and then a happy expression appeared on his face. "Thank you, junior brother Han. Your alchemy skills are as good as ever. The medicine is so powerful, senior brother Chen, thank you for your praise. I have something else to ask of you." Han Li smiled and looked at the happy Chen Tianqi, and he felt more confident about another matter. "Junior brother Han, you can just tell me directly. I will help you as long as I can, then I will say it directly. I want to exchange the 2 blood-condensing 5-element pills in your hand, senior brother Chen." Han Li looked at the heroic Chen Tianqi and told him the matter immediately. Chen Tianqi showed a look of as expected. "No need to exchange, I will give you these 2 blood coagulation 5 elements pills directly." Then he took out the blood coagulation 5 elements pills and gave them to Han Li. "Thank you, senior brother Chen." Han Li was very touched. He never expected it to be given for free. After seeing Han Li's happy subordinate's blood coagulation 5 elements pill, Chen Tianqi pulled him to a corner and cast a soundproof shield. "Junior brother Han, what do you think about the battle between good and evil? Do you want to escape from the Yellow Maple Valley? If you want to escape, I have a way." Han Li was just wondering what Chen Tianqi wanted to do by pulling him into the corner when he heard his surprising words. "Brother Chen, do you know something?" "To be honest, junior brother Han, the demonic path will definitely fail in this invasion of the 7 sects. The Yellow Maple Valley may retreat completely, and some disciples will inevitably be left behind." Han Li was shocked when he heard what Chen Tianqi said, and he immediately understood something. A disciple like him with a rubbish talent will definitely be among the disciples left behind. Han Li felt bitter. Anyone would be unhappy if he was sent to die in a place where he had stayed for a long time. Han Li adjusted his mood and bowed to Chen Tianqi and asked, "Please give me some advice, brother Chen. I know a place where there is an ancient teleportation array. You can take it to leave here." Han Li's sad mood eased after hearing this, and he also understood what Chen Tianqi meant. "Senior brother Chen, what do you need me to do to tell me this location?" Chen Tianqi smiled and patted Han Li on the shoulder. "I don't need you to do anything, I just want 2,000-year-old spiritual herbs." Hearing this, Han Li was shocked and began to wonder if his secret had been leaked. But now he could only trust Chen Tianqi's integrity and would not do anything disappointing. "I happen to have 2,000-year-old spiritual herbs here. Since senior brother Chen needs them, let's exchange them." Then he took out 2 wooden boxes from his storage bag, which contained 1,000-year-old spiritual herbs, and handed them to Chen Tianqi. Chen Tianqi smiled, took the wooden boxes and put them in his storage bag, then patted Han Li on the shoulder and said jokingly, "Junior brother Han, don't be nervous. Everyone has their own secrets. We are from the same school and we won't do such a thing. Since junior brother Han is so straightforward, I will tell you directly." Then Chen Tianqi told him the location of the spiritual stone mine where the teleportation array was located, and asked him to go to Xinruoyan to get the array jade slip. When Han Li heard the name Xinruoyan, he asked Chen Tianqi in surprise, "Senior brother Chen also knows Miss Xin." "Of course I know her. Your inverted 5 elements array was created by her. And she is also repairing this teleportation array. When you leave, don't forget to go to her to get the repaired array jade slip." I will leave a copy. Chen Tianqi nodded in affirmation. Han Li nodded with a wry smile, because he found that he had been to the Spirit Stone mine not long ago. But he did not find the teleportation array, which seemed to be covered up by senior brother Chen. If you are listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means it was downloaded and re-uploaded without effort. We warmly invite you to visit our channel, Fanfic World. There you will find the original version of this story and many other novels of various genres. We look forward to seeing you dive into a world of incredible novels. Chapter 28. After Chen Tianqi talked with Han Li for a while, he was about to say goodbye and leave when a moving voice came from behind. Senior brother Chen, senior brother Han, what are you doing here so sneakily? Dong Xuiner twisted her waist and walked over waving a fan. Chen Tianqi saw that it was this troublesome Dong Xuiner again. Even if Dong Xuiner was beautiful, he was not interested in a woman with princess syndrome. He immediately gave Han Li a look, indicating that he would take care of it. Han Li understood what Chen Tianqi meant, and suddenly felt a headache. He was least good at dealing with women like Dong Xuiner, so now he could only bite the bullet and speak. Junior sister Dong, I had an appointment with senior brother Chen before, and I am here to give him some elixirs. Chen Tianqi nodded repeatedly, and then prepared to play yo-yo. Yes, since junior brother Han has given me the elixir, I will take my leave now. Senior brother Chen, why are you so anxious? I won't eat you. I came here to inform you that senior brother Liu asked us to go to the compound for a party. Dong Xuiner rolled her eyes at Chen Tianqi. You look down on me, but I don't want to stick to your cold butt. Chen Tianqi smiled awkwardly. Well, in that case, I'll go and bring Kyokian with me. Chen Tianqi returned to the room and found that Chen Kyokian was already dressed, so he took Chen Kyokian to the courtyard. When they arrived at the courtyard, everyone had already sat down and drank happily. When Song Meng saw that Chen Tianqi and Chen Kyokian had finally arrived, he immediately walked up to them and teased them. Junior brother Chen is really a busy man. He only comes out at noon. Be careful of your health. Everyone laughed after hearing this, and Chen Kyokian's face turned red like a monkey's butt. Chen Tianqi was not embarrassed when he heard Song Meng's words. His face was like a wall, and he smiled. I have a strong body, there is no other way. Then Song Meng chatted with Chen Tianqi. Chen Kyokian blushed and was pulled aside by Zhang Weiniang to share her feelings last night. Han Li and Liu Jing also got along well. Dong Xuiner was training her own dogs as always. The happy time passed quickly. After a long time, a harmonious party ended here, and everyone said goodbye and set off to return to Huangfeng Valley. A few days later, Chen Tianqi took Chen Kyokian back to the cave in Huangfeng Valley on the Qingyuan boat. The first thing he did after returning to the cave was to check whether the blood jade spider eggs in the spiritual spring had hatched. Careful observation revealed that the spider eggs were much larger than a year ago, and there were many more patterns. I guess they will hatch in another year or two. Then Chen Tianqi took out half of the cultivation pills and handed them to Chen Kyokian, asking her to hurry up and practice. He went to the door to get the refining materials and applied for Chen Kyokian as his refining assistant. Soon Chen Tianqi came to the meeting hall to meet Zhang Daoling, bowed and said, I have met you, senior brother. The reason I came here is to ask you to bring my Taoist partner to my side to help me refine weapons for the sect. Zhang Linggao heard this and thought for a moment before speaking. I understand what you mean. If you can guarantee that you can refine half as many magical instruments as before every once in a while, I can apply to the sect. It was not difficult for Chen Tianqi to refine half as many magical instruments. After pretending to hesitate for a moment, Chen Tianqi agreed happily. I'll trouble you, master brother. Zhang Linggao nodded, then took out a storage bag and handed it to Chen Tianqi. Please take it, junior brother. These are the materials for refining. The situation on the front line is tight, so it's best to finish it quickly. Chen Tianqi collected the materials, then nodded and thanked him. After returning to the cave, Chen Tianqi came to the refining room, lit the pot and started refining at full power. Time flies, and 2 years have passed in a hurry. In the past 2 years, the invasion of the demons has become more and more rapid, and the front line has been in constant war. For a while, the disciples of the Huangfeng Valley sect suffered heavy casualties. Later, even the people who transported the magic tools and talismans began to be in short supply, and Chen Tianqi had no choice but to be escorted. Chen Tianqi took Chen Tianqi from the front line and Huangfeng Valley at regular intervals. During this period, the two also killed many demon monks, and also killed the name of the male and female swordsmen, with great military exploits. Chen Tianqi reached the peak of the middle stage of foundation building, and Chen Tianqi had already completed the foundation building and could form a pill at any time. At the same time, in order to prepare for the trip to the Chaos Star Sea in the past 2 years, spirit stones, elixirs, talismans, and magic tools have accumulated to an astonishing number. Moreover, Chen Tianqi used the kickbacks of the refining materials in the sect to refine 72 self-destructing flying swords and 8 puppets at the peak of foundation building. For the large number of flying swords, Chen Tianqi, who has a strong spiritual consciousness, can control them easily. What he didn't expect was that Chen Tianqi had a good talent for practicing the Great Evolution technique and had reached the 3rd level. In addition, she was mainly practicing the Kingate sword technique, so he also refined 18 flying swords for her and 4 puppets at the peak of the foundation building stage. The blood jade spiders were also successfully hatched. 2 fist-sized white jade spiders were soaking in the spiritual spring, and they looked quite cute. Everything was ready, except for the formation jade slip. Chen Tianqi thought it was time to go see if Xinruan had completed the formation. Ding! The fusion of the skills is complete. Chen Tianqi was lost in thought when he heard the system's prompt, and then he was overjoyed. He quickly extracted the fused skills, and after a careful inspection, he found that it was fully functional. All spiritual roots could be cultivated, and it could be cultivated all the way to the spiritualization stage. Not only can it control fire, control the power of the netherworld, call on the dead, absorb the soul power of the enemy to strengthen its own soul, but it can also enhance its own charm, confuse all living beings, and control monsters. It can be said that it has completely absorbed the 4 skills of the Golden Wheel, Burning Heaven art, the 10,000 Ghosts Devouring Soul art, the Xuanji Magic Heart Charming art, and the Beast Taming art. Although it is not as good as the Furnace of Heaven and Earth, it is also a top-grade martial arts. After a few days, Chen Tianqi comprehended the fusion martial arts in the practice room, successfully mastered it, and named it the Spirit Flame Heart and Soul Defa. After Chen Tianqi mastered this martial arts, a kind of nether fire magic power was born in his body, which could burn the souls of others. If others touched it, their souls would be damaged at the least, and their souls would be annihilated at the worst, and they would die. His face became more handsome, with a blue flame pattern appearing between his eyebrows, and his body could not help but exude a charming aura. System, open the panel name, Chen Tianqi sex, male age. 28/360 spiritual roots, fire, gold bloodline, Kryptonian, civilian template, physique, Kryptonian physique, pure yang body skills, Kryptonian superpowers, 5 elements basic spells, fire dragon bomb, intermediate spell, golden blade, intermediate spell, weapon refiner, weapon level, spirit flame soul technique, hellfire magical power, heaven and earth furnace, hiding the secret of the heaven, great evolution technique realm, perfect foundation number of draws. 0 number of crossings. 1 items, Kryptonian technology encyclopedia, mysterious armor shield, reversed 5 elements formation, 5 elements killing formation, 72 self-destructing flying swords, 8 mecha puppets, N spiritual stones, N pills, N talismans. Chen Tianqi looked at the system panel and knew that everything was ready. It was time to go to Yuanwu country to find Xinruan to get the formation jade slip, and then find a secluded place to start forming pills. Chapter 29. Before leaving the cave, Chen Tianqi told Chen Tianqi that he was about to form a pill. He also told her to go to Li Huayan if she encountered any danger or problems that could not be solved, and then handed Li Huayan's token to Chen Tianqi. After giving instructions, Chen Tianqi drove the Qingyuan boat and left to Huangfeng Valley. 1 day later, Chen Tianqi came to the territory of Yuanwu Kingdom and went straight to Xinruan's home. He came to the formation in front of Xinruan's house and sent a voice transmission. In less than a moment, Xinruan, with a haggard face, walked out quickly and greeted Chen Tianqi respectfully. "Hello, Senior Chen. Please don't blame me for not welcoming you in person, Miss Xin, you don't have to be like this. I came here to ask if your teleportation array has been repaired," Chen Tianqi said indifferently. After hearing this, Xinruan's pale face showed a hint of pride. "Xinruan successfully repaired it, Please follow me to the mansion. I will return the jade slip to you." Then Xin Ruoyan led Chen Tianqi into the mansion, took out the jade slip and gave it to Chen Tianqi. Chen Tianqi felt the jade slip for a moment, and then his face was surprised. The teleportation array was really repaired. He immediately spoke boldly. "Miss Xin, just tell me what you want. I can give you whatever I have." Seeing that Xin Ruoyan didn't speak for a long time, as if she was hesitating about something, Chen Tianqi looked at the empty mansion and felt puzzled. "Miss Xin, why don't you see Brother Qi?" When Xin Ruoyan heard Chen Tianqi's question, her face became much darker, and her voice was filled with a hint of sadness. Brother Qi was seriously injured by the Fu family not long ago. Xiaomi is taking care of him now. Moreover, this injury has affected his foundation. I am afraid that his cultivation will never improve again in this life. Then, as if he had made a decision, he spoke to Chen Tianqi in an angry tone. "Senior Chen, I don't want anything, I just hope you can agree to my request." Chen Tianqi looked at Xin Ruoyan with tears in her eyes and immediately understood what was going on. "Miss Xin, please, I will help you as long as I can do it now." Xin Ruoyan took a deep breath. "Please kill the Fu family for me in the future. If you can do that, I am willing to offer you the secret book left by my ancestors and the various ancient formations I have studied for many years." Chen Tianqi knew what this secret book was. It was the Zuanmu infant transformation method that could give birth to the second Yuanying. Of course, good things cannot be left behind, so he immediately agreed to Xin Ruoyan's request. "Okay. Miss Xin, I promise you that if I do it in the future, I will bring the heads of the Fu family to see Miss Xin." Then he took out a few bottles of healing pills from the storage bag, copied a jade slip, and handed it to Xin Ruoyan. "These bottles are top-grade healing pills, which can even be used by foundation-building monks. Please give them to Brother Qi. There will also be a junior brother who will come to collect the replica jade slip. You can give it to him when the time comes." Xin Ruoyan took the pills and jade slips, and bowed deeply to Chen Tianqi with great gratitude. "Thank you, Senior Chen. I will definitely complete your request." Looking at the haggard Xin Ruoyan, he sighed in his heart, hoping that these bottles of elixir can save Qi Yongxiao. After Chen Tianqi left Xin Ruoyan, he disguised himself to conceal his aura and came to the Xiangxing sect market, rented a cave, and prepared to make a pill. In the cave, Chen Tianqi sat cross-legged, adjusted his breathing, and waited until he was in the best state. Chen Tianqi operated the furnace of heaven and earth, pulling the spiritual power, and his body became hotter and hotter. The vortex on the sea of mana in the Danshan also became more violent, constantly absorbing and compressing the sea of mana. Chen Tianqi endured a discomfort and turned on his full power to absorb the spiritual energy around the cave. Through the powerful attraction of the furnace of heaven and earth, a large amount of spiritual energy was guided to wander through the 8 extraordinary meridians throughout the body, and finally converged on the red vortex in the Danshan. The red vortex was like a compressor, compressing as much as it inhaled. The continuous absorption and compression made Chen Tianqi feel a tingling sensation all over his body, and gradually entered a state of ecstasy. I don't know how long it took. Countless spiritual energy and the spiritual liquid in the Danshan were all swallowed up by the red vortex, and then compressed to the extreme. The sea of Qi in the Danshan ushered in a qualitative change. Boom! A heavy bang sounded from Chen Tianqi's body, echoing throughout the cave. A servant at the cave rental office in the Xiangxing sect market was yawning out of boredom. Suddenly, the sky and the earth changed color. The rich spiritual energy in the Xiangxing sect market decreased sharply, and continued to move towards the rental cave. Such a scene was quite spectacular. The immortal cultivators in the market stopped and looked up at the sky. Their faces were different and exciting, and they all talked about it with envy. The strange phenomenon of forming a pill. Someone is forming a pill, such a rich spiritual energy. I don't know when I can reach this point. Which senior is the one who has achieved Dan formation here? I will go visit him when the time comes. Half a year later, in the cave, Chen Tianqi opened his eyes, a golden light flashed in his eyes, and his expression was extremely calm. It seems that forming a pill is not as difficult as he imagined. Feeling the fluctuations of his own mana in the Jinden period, overflowing layer by layer, it is as thick as a Jinden late cultivator. Then his consciousness probed out of the cave and found that the range was much larger than that of ordinary Jinden cultivators. This must be the benefit of a strong soul. Then Chen Tianqi looked inward with curiosity at the unique golden pill sitting on a lotus platform in the danshan. The golden pill was golden red, the size of an egg, extremely smooth, and engraved with nether fire patterns. A closer look showed that there was a vortex in the center of the golden pill, like a black hole, constantly devouring spiritual energy. Chen Tianqi stood up and took a deep breath, operated the concealing heaven technique, restrained his own breath, and walked out of the cave with a changed face. He was ready to fulfill his promise with Xinruan and kill the Fu family. After paying the spiritual stones for the cave, he ignored the flattery of the crowd and turned into golden light under the blessing of the time escape technique. Chen Tianqi arrived above the Fu family mansion, and his mighty aura was not concealed at all. Soon, a group of cultivators came out, led by an old man, who was about the middle stage of foundation building. The old man asked with a panicked look, "Senior, I wonder what brings you to my humble abode? Has the Fu family offended you recently?" "No, I'm just lending you my life," Chen Tianqi said coldly, and then the sword flashed, and the old man's head fell to the ground. The surrounding Fu family cultivators were horrified and fled like frightened birds. Jinden was not something they could handle. One of them shouted in panic, "Old ancestor, someone is coming to kill us." As soon as the voice fell, the man saw his body, and countless sword energy gushed out from all around the mansion. The sword light was like me, cutting off all the clutter. Many cultivators of the Fu family were dead all over the ground, and the mansion was turned into ruins. Chapter 30. How dare you, thief! A roar of anger resounded through the heavens and earth, and then a figure appeared in front of Chen Tianqi. The ancestor of the Fu family watched his descendants being slaughtered, and he was immediately furious, and shouted at Chen Tianqi with a frown. "You thief, you killed my descendants and destroyed my foundation. Do you really think I'm made of mud?" After the ancestor of the Fu family finished speaking, he sacrificed a long sword magic weapon with murderous intent and slashed at Chen Tianqi. Chen Tianqi's breath surged, and the powerful spiritual energy fluctuations directly bounced the long sword magic weapon away. His figure flashed, and he appeared in front of the ancestor of the Fu family at lightning speed, and punched the astonished old face. The fist smashed down, and the face of the ancestor of the Fu family was directly distorted and deformed, blood and teeth splattered, and he fell heavily to the ground, smashing a big pit. The ancestor of the Fu family spit out blood and fell into the big pit. One of his eyes could not be seen because of the deformation of his face. He hurriedly sacrificed a bottle magic weapon, and several flames and lightning spit out of the bottle's mouth, flying towards Chen Tianqi. Chen Tianqi looked at the lightning and fire that were coming, and did not dodge. It was just a good time to try the current meat intensity. As expected, the flames and lightning kept entangled Chen Tianqi, but his body was intact, only his robes were burned. Chen Tianqi showed his strong body, swung the big bird, and severely trampled the Fu family ancestor in war. The Fu family ancestor saw that Chen Tianqi was hit by his thunder and fire bottle, but the spiritual flame and divine thunder were unharmed, and he rushed straight towards him. He was shocked and didn't care to think too much. He spit out a mouthful of blood on a talisman and turned into bloodlight to escape. Chen Tianqi saw the Fu family ancestor running away, and immediately turned into golden light to chase him. It was only 1 or 2 breaths. Chen Tianqi, who was extremely fast, caught up with the Fu family ancestor, pinched the magic formula, and displayed the nether fire magic. A dark blue ferocious fire dragon soared into the sky and rushed straight to the Fu family ancestor. Seeing this, the Fu family ancestor hurriedly used the multi-layer aura shield to resist the attack. Unfortunately, the nether fire magic only attacks the soul, ignoring many shields, and rushes into the body of the Fu family ancestor. For a moment, the Fu family ancestor had a splitting headache, holding his head and struggling around, making miserable cries in the air, and a dark blue flame ignited on his body, but he did not hurt his body at all, and even his robes were not damaged. Chen Tianqi put on his robes and watched this scene quietly. After a while, the sound became weaker and weaker, and the Fu family ancestor fell directly from the air, and his soul was completely annihilated. Chen Tianqi came to the corpse of the Fu family ancestor, picked up his storage bag, cut off his head, and shot a fireball at his corpse to burn it. This action was so loud that it must have attracted the attention of many people. Thinking of this, Chen Tianqi hurried to the Fu family mansion and plundered the Fu family's accumulation for hundreds of years. Whether it was growing on the ground or swimming in the water, Everything that could be taken was put into the storage bag, and those that could not be taken were burned directly. After everyone outside gradually came to investigate, Chen Tianqi picked up the heavy storage bag, and when he felt that he had searched enough, he turned into golden light and flew away. A few days later, the news that the Fu family, one of the largest immortal cultivation families in Yuanwu Kingdom, was destroyed and robbed by an unknown person leaked out, which directly set off a huge wave in the immortal cultivation world of Yuanwu Kingdom. Many families were in a panic, worried that they would be attacked by that person the next moment. For this reason, in order to appease the people, the three major orthodox sects in Yuanwu Kingdom, the Shenbing sect, the Xiangxing sect, and the One Miao Temple, joined forces to send people to investigate the incident. Unfortunately, no matter how they investigated, they could not find the real culprit. After all, Chen Tianqi's key retaining technique was not to be underestimated. Despite the turmoil in Yuanwu Kingdom, Chen Tianqi brought the head of the ancestor of the Fu family to Xin Ruoying's home, as agreed. Xin Ruoying's residence. In a small courtyard, Xin Ruoying and her husband sat in the courtyard and brewed a pot of spiritual tea for Chen Tianqi. Xin Ruoying looked at the head in front of her, looked at Chen Tianqi who was drinking tea with a surprised face, then stood up and saluted to express gratitude. "Thank you for avenging Ruoying. I didn't expect you to fulfill your promise so quickly." Then he took out the jade slips that recorded the Zuanmu infant transformation method and the ancient formation experience and handed them to Chen Tianqi. "These things will be handed over to the senior as agreed." Chen Tianqi put the things into the storage bag and asked, "Thank you very much, Miss Xin. I wonder how Brother Qi is doing now." Brother Qi has used the elixir given by the senior, and his injuries have improved a lot. But he still needs to stay in bed to rest. "Thank you for your concern, Senior Chen." After saying this, Xin Ruoying stood up and bowed again with great gratitude. Chen Tianqi smiled slightly, nodded, and then left a dozen talismans and turned into golden light and left. Chapter 31. 1 month later. The 7 sects and the 6 sects of the demonic path started a great battle in Jinguan. Just a few days before the Battle of Jinguan, Chen Tianqi told his master Li Huaitong that Lingxiao Mountain would turn against them. Whether he believed it or not was another matter. After all, Chen Tianqi still hoped that his master Li Huaitong could survive and change the ending of death in the original novel. While the two sides were fighting fiercely on the Jinguan battlefield, Chen Tianqi packed up his belongings, blew up his Lingquan cave, prepared to say goodbye to the Chen family, and set off for Chaos Star Sea. Chen family mansion. At this time, there were few members of the Chen family. Most of the Chen family disciples had gone to the front line, but the elite disciples stayed behind to guard the family. Chen Tianqi led Chen Tianqi back to the Chen family and reported to the Chen family guard at the door. Chen Ming was handling family affairs at this time. Since the Chen family ancestor passed away, all the family affairs fell on his head. In addition, the invasion of the demonic sect made Chen Ming very anxious. He was thinking about the things on the front line when he heard the guard calling him. A Chen family disciple bowed to Chen Ming and said, Master Chen and Miss Chen are back." Chen Ming showed a joyful expression on his face, and hurriedly asked someone to invite Chen Tianqi and the others in. Chen Ming paced back and forth, and when he saw Chen Ming coming in, he happily walked forward to greet them. "Ha, Chen boy, you finally came back." Chen Tianqi looked at Chen Ming who was so excited, and he knew that he wanted to stay and help him at this critical moment. Unfortunately, things did not go as he wished. Chen Tianqi did not want to stay in this small world, so he had to speak truthfully. "Elder Chen, no, it should be the head of the Chen family. I came here with Tianqian to tell you something." Chen Ming looked at Chen Tianqi, who had a complicated expression. He knew what was going on. "I knew that the small pond of the Chen family couldn't hold a flying dragon like you. Just say it directly. I think I have entered the late stage of foundation building, and I should travel around the world to find the opportunity to form a pill. In addition, the invasion of the demons has caused unrest in Yu State, so I am ready to take Yaojin away." Chen Tianqi did not tell him his true cultivation level, but revealed the aura of the late stage of foundation building. Chen Ming felt the fluctuations of the late stage of foundation building on Chen Tianqi, and excitedly said a few good words in a row, and then said with a gratified expression, "Since you have made up your mind, just take Tianqian and leave this dangerous place. I just hope that when you achieve something one day, you will not forget the Chen family." Tianqi will never forget the kindness of the Chen family. Chen Tianqi looked at the old man who had adopted him for more than 10 years and bowed deeply. Perhaps this departure would be a farewell forever. After Chen Tianqi left some elixirs and magic tools at the Chen family, he took Chen Tianqi into the Lingxi mine. The Lingxi mine is now heavily guarded, and the demons will attack here from time to time, resulting in several times more patrolling disciples than usual. But for Chen Tianqi, it is not difficult to quietly avoid many patrolling disciples. Soon, Chen Tianqi and the others came to the teleportation array cave wrapped by the inverted 5 elements array. Chen Tianqi took out the array disk and turned it a few times, opened the inverted 5 elements array, walked to the teleportation array, and began to repair the teleportation array according to the jade slip given by Xin Ruan. After a while, the teleportation array was repaired, and Chen Tianqi took out a pile of spiritual stones and embedded them in the teleportation array. Then he immediately arranged a sealing array around the teleportation array to prevent the leakage of spiritual energy, causing a huge movement. When the last spiritual stone was embedded, the entire teleportation array immediately made a buzzing sound and kept turning. A spiritual light walked along the array pattern again, and then a huge spiritual energy fluctuation broke out. In the center of the formation, a dazzling yellow-white beam of light arose and penetrated from the top of the cave. Thanks to the soul-sealing formation that had been set up long ago, the people outside did not notice anything. Chen Tianqi took out a great teleportation order from the storage bag and poured a large amount of mana into the token. With the injection of mana, a strange force field spread out from the great teleportation order, enveloping Chen Tianqi and Chen Tianqi. Chen Tianqi's mind moved, and he activated the token's teleportation command. For a moment, the teleportation formation glowed with yellow light. A flash of light passed by, and Chen Tianqi and Chen Tianqi disappeared from the teleportation formation, leaving behind the inverted 5 elements formation and the soul-sealing formation to continue hiding the teleportation formation. The great movement order in his hand continuously absorbed a large amount of mana, but it was like a drop in the ocean for Chen Tianqi now. He even looked curiously at the gray unknown space outside. Suddenly, the yellow light around him dissipated, and Chen Tianqi and the others appeared in a dark place. A fireball appeared in Chen Tianqi's hand, illuminating the surroundings, and then he looked around vigilantly. Chen Tianqi opened her spiritual vision and looked around, and said, "Husband, this place should have been deserted for nearly 100 years. Chen Tianqi walked to the stone door, pushed it open, looked at a staircase extending upwards, nodded and responded, "This place has been abandoned for a long time, and there are probably few people around. Let's go up and take a look." Then Chen Tianqi hugged Chen Tianqi and raised the aura shield, flew straight up, and stirred up a lot of dust. Chen Tianqi turned a corner and saw the exit, which was tightly blocked by a huge rock. Chen Tianqi came to the rock, held the boulder, lifted it up with a little force in both hands, and threw it aside. Chen Tianqi said that she was no longer surprised by Chen Tianqi's strong physical strength, because she had tried it many times herself. The moment the boulder was moved away, bright sunshine and a gust of sea breeze blew in, bringing a salty and humid smell, as if she had smelled it somewhere before. After Chen Tianqi and Chen Tianqi walked out of the cave, Chen Tianqi put the boulder back. "This is his passage back to Xianan, and it must be hidden well." Chen Tianqi stared blankly at the magnificent sea. For her who was born in the inland, she had never seen such a vast sea view. After Chen Tianqi put down the boulder, he saw Chen Tianqi's dazed expression, smiled and walked over, patting her jade buttocks. "Don't you think the sea is beautiful?" Chen Tianqi nodded in agreement. "I had only seen descriptions of the sea in books before, but I never thought that the sea was so beautiful and vast." Chen Tianqi smiled and hugged her small waist, gently stroking it, and they watched the sea view together. "I am here. You will see more beautiful scenery in the future, husband." After the two of them hugged each other for a while at the beach, Chen Tianqi took Chen Tianqi and flew northeast. A few days later, Chen Tianqi stood above the vast sea with his wife in his arms, observing the surroundings. I don't know if Chen Tianqi was unlucky, but he didn't find a single ship in a few days. This made Chen Tianqi feel very nervous, wondering if he had taken the wrong path. Fortunately, after flying northeast for half a day, a huge island appeared in front of Chen Tianqi and the others. Chapter 32. At the junction of the ocean and the island, there is an extremely wide dock. The dock is bustling with people, most of whom are mortals moving goods, and from time to time there are monks who come to help. It can be seen that the trade is very prosperous. Chen Tianqi continued to explore with his spiritual sense, and finally found the monk registration office at the dock, and then flew there with Chen Tianqi. The busy mortals on the dock saw Chen Tianqi and the others from afar, with a bit of awe on their faces, and they all hied aside to make way. As soon as Chen Tianqi and the others landed on the open space, a young man in a white robe, who seemed to be a monk in charge of maintaining order, flew over, sensed the cultivation level of Chen Tianqi and the others, and showed a bit of respect on his face, and bowed. "My name is Hu Tian. May I ask if you two seniors are here to register to enter the island?" "Well, I came to the island to buy some things this time," Chen Tianqi said coldly. He didn't want to talk too much with others when he first arrived. Hu Tian saw Chen Tianqi's cold attitude, but he didn't show any dissatisfaction, because he felt that the person standing in front of him was a giant and cultivator. He just respectfully led the way. After a while, Hu Tian led the two to a house at the port. The house was simply decorated with only a table and a chair. An old man with a ruddy face sat on it and closed his eyes to rest. Hu Tian walked forward and bowed. "Manager Li, these two seniors are here to register for entry to the island." "Okay, I understand. You go down first." The old man opened his eyes and spoke slowly. Then he glanced at Chen Tianqi, sensed it with his spiritual sense, and immediately stood up hurriedly, with an apologetic smile on his face, and bowed respectfully. "I have been disrespectful, please forgive me. May I ask why you came to Kixing Island this time?" "To be honest, I came here to buy some elixirs for my Taoist partner." Chen Tianqi looked at the old man's expression and smiled. The senior is really sincere to his Taoist partner. There are very few people like him in this world. The old man immediately flattered him and continued, "I will register the two seniors now. May I know your names?" "Chen Tianqi, Chen Tianqi." After hearing this, the old man took out two tokens and engraved his name on them with a flash of yellow light. After confirming it, he handed the two tokens to Chen Tianqi and the other two. "Please receive the pass. If you lose it, you can ask me to reissue it or go to the center of Kixing Island to reissue it." Then the old man took out a map of Kixing Island and gave it to Chen Tianqi, and told him the location of the giant and medicinal materials. Chen Tianqi was no longer surprised by the world of immortal cultivation where strength is supreme. After a few words of greeting with the old man, he took Chen Tianqi away from the dock and flew to Kixing City. After a while, Chen Tianqi saw a huge city with high walls from a distance. There were pavilions and pavilions in it, and the colors were bright red. A huge magic disc was suspended in the sky above the center. Its grandeur was the first time he had seen it. Suddenly, Chen Tianqi felt a gravity on his body, and he immediately understood that there was a no-fly restriction in the city, and fell directly down. Kixing City is a city where immortals and mortals live together. And it is naturally different from ordinary mortal cities. Its roads are wide enough for several animal carts to go side by side. There are countless shops and stalls of all kinds, and people come and go in an endless stream. Chen Tianqi took Chen Tianqi's hand and went to Xiandu Street according to the map. Along the way, they slowly admired the scenery in the city. After walking for a long time, Chen Tianqi and the others stopped in front of an attic called Huangju. As soon as they entered the attic, the rich aroma of herbs came to their noses, making people inhale a few more breaths. A servant saw Chen Tianqi and the others and hurried forward to greet them. "Dear seniors, what are you here to buy?" "I want to buy some medicinal materials for Dan forming," Chen Tianqi said calmly. When the shopkeeper who was counting the bills at the counter heard that he wanted medicinal materials for Dan forming, he knew that he was a big customer, so he quickly replaced the servant and stepped forward to greet him. "My name is Lin. May I ask what kind of herbs you need?" "Snow spirit water, sky fire liquid, dust reduction pill." Shopkeeper Lin smiled even more when he heard this. "We have all these things, but the price may be a bit expensive." Chen Tianqi gave Chen Tianqi a look. "It's your turn to bargain." Ever since Chen Tianqi was cheated last time, he knew that he was not suitable to bargain with others. Chen Tianqi understood and stepped forward to chat with shopkeeper Lin. Chen Tianqi sat aside, drinking tea brewed by the waiter, watching the two bargaining. After a long time, Chen Tianqi, who had finished his tea, finally received good news. Chen Tianqi's face was full of satisfaction, as if this bargaining triggered some kind of DNA. On the contrary, shopkeeper Lin had a wry smile on his face. He never expected that he would be bargained down to such a low price by a little woman. "Husband, These things are worth this much? A detailed map of Chaos Star Sea is also included. Chen Tianqi happily pointed a number to Chen Tianqi. Chen Tianqi was shocked when he saw it. This was completely the cost price. Then shopkeeper Lin took out a storage bag from the counter. "Senior, this is what you want, please keep it." Chen Tianqi nodded, took the things, and then put the spirit stone on the counter to hand it over. He walked out of Yuhuanju with Chen Tianqi with a smile on his face. After leaving Yuhuanju, Chen Tianqi looked at Chen Tianqi and asked softly, "Husband, are we going to settle down in Kixing City?" Chen Tianqi shook his head, looking mysterious. "We won't settle here. I'll take you to a place later." Then the wealthy two people bought all kinds of elixirs, formations, refining materials, and monster materials in Kixing City. Chaos Star Sea is different from Xianan continent. Monsters that are rarely seen in Xianan can be seen everywhere here. Even elixirs and magic tools are made from monsters as a result. The precious pill recipes and elixirs in Xianan can be bought here for just a little money. What is expensive is the inner elixir of the monster. The inner elixir of the monster can be said to be the main material for alchemy by the alchemists in the Chaos Star Sea. All large and small elixirs need to use the inner elixir. After all, the sea is vast and boundless, and there are countless monsters of all kinds growing in it. It can be said that they are inexhaustible and have extremely strong reproductive ability. In the huge Kixing City, Chen Tianqi and the others spent a whole week shopping for various supplies and bought many high-level spells. The continuous consumption of large amounts of spirit stones made Chen Tianqi feel heartbroken, and he said that the money was not worth spending. After counting all kinds of supplies, Chen Tianqi took Chen Tianqi away from Kixing City and brought her to a small island where opportunities existed. Chapter 33. Xiaohun Island. A small island located on the edge of the sphere of influence of Kixing Island. The length of this island is only 50 or 60 miles, and the spiritual vein is not long, so the spiritual energy is thin. Almost no cultivators will come here, even mortals are few. But today, 2 cultivators flew into the sky, and the consciousness of the Jinden period kept sweeping over the island, as if looking for something. These 2 cultivators were Chen Tianqi and Chen Tianqi, who had left Kixing Island a day ago. His purpose of coming here was to find the legendary gold-eating worm. Chen Tianqi hugged Chen Tianqi and came to the center of Xiaohun Island. Now there were only 2 peaks in the center that had not been found. Chen Tianqi opened his spiritual vision and carefully explored from top to bottom. From his perspective, a light blue spiritual vein ran through the 2 peaks, like a giant dragon lying in the ground, looking very majestic. Chen Tianqi recalled the characteristics of the gold-eating worm. When it was just born, it would enter a dormant state, and the spiritual energy in its body was thin, but it would generally hide in places with rich spiritual energy. The place with the most abundant spiritual energy is between the 2 peaks. Thinking of this, Chen Tianqi used his spiritual vision to summon his flying sword and began to dig a hole in the middle of the 2 peaks. When they dug a mile underground, Chen Tianqi and the other fell into a hole, which was extremely dark inside. Chen Tianqi immediately lit a fireball to illuminate the surroundings. After carefully observing the surrounding environment, he had an idea in his mind that this should be the cave that the gold-eating worm had gnawed out. He continued to fly deeper and finally found an egg composed of faint spiritual light on the wall 100 meters away. The egg was only the size of a basketball in oval in shape. Chen Tianqi flew over, gently picked it off, put it in his hand and looked at it carefully. The egg is silvery white and sparkles with a metallic color, but the surface is not smooth. It is composed of round grains the size of soybeans, densely embedded together. It seems that this is the gold-eating worm he is looking for. Chen Tianqi looked at the egg with curiosity and asked, "Husband, is this the opportunity you mentioned?" "Yes, this is the famous gold-eating insect on the list of strange insects. After it grows up, it can only be killed by destroying its soul." Chen Tianqi's face showed joy and affirmed. Then Chen Tianqi put the egg into a special box, put it into the storage bag, and patted Chen Tianqi's buttocks. "Tianqi, these bugs will be handed over to you from now on. Cultivate them well, and they will be good guardian pets in the future." Chen Tianqi nodded vigorously after hearing this, and promised in a sonorous and powerful way that she would take good care of them. After Chen Tianqi harvested the gold-eating bugs, he and Chen Tianqi left Xiaohun Island and prepared to settle in Xiangxing City. The reason for choosing Xiangxing City is simple, because this is the stationed place of the most powerful force in Chaos Star Sea, Xinguang. The safety factor is directly maxed out. After Chen Tianqi and his companions arrived at Shiangsing City via the teleportation array of Kixing Island, they found that Shiangsing City was larger and more prosperous than Kixing Island. And because Shiangsing City was too wide, there was no no-fly restriction in the city, allowing monks to fly in the air. The entire city was built around a towering mountain in the middle of the island, climbing up layer by layer along the foot of the mountain, straight into the clouds. The buildings at the foot of the mountain also spread out of the island layer by layer, tightly sealed, and almost no larger open space was left. It is conceivable how expensive the housing prices in the city would be. In front of the city gate stood a huge stone statue of the twin saints of the Star Palace. Countless merchant ships went upstream along the river, and monks in the air came and went, constantly passing by. Chen Tianqi and his companions came to the city registration office, spent 1,600 low-grade spirit stones to buy 2 permanent residence rings, and then lined up to enter Shiangsing City. Entering the city, the buildings in the city are antique and surrounded by ethereal aura, showing an extraordinary beauty. The roads in Shiangsing City are broad and intricate, with all kinds of shops and stalls on both sides, selling rare elixirs, uncommon magic tools, and all kinds of materials needed for cultivation. Shiangsing City is divided into the lower city district, the upper city district, and the topmost area, the peak and the holy Yuanxi mountain. Most of the shops and residences in the lower city district are opened by mortals, while the upper city district is the sphere of activities for cultivators. The upper city district not only has a huge market for cultivators, but also various sect flags are planted between different attics, indicating that this is the headquarters of the business alliance between different sects. Chen Tianqi and the other person flew quickly from the sky above the lower city district to a brokerage firm in the upper city district, ready to rent a cave. After entering the brokerage firm, a cultivator in a Xinguang uniform came up to greet them, bowed and said, "Are you 2 Taoist friends here to rent a cave?" Chen Tianqi nodded and asked, "Are there any caves with rich spiritual energy for sale?" "That Taoist fellow, you came by chance. There just happened to be a 46-story cave that has been vacant for a long time. Now it only costs 36 medium-grade spirit stones a year, and the minimum lease is 100 years. If Taoist fellow is interested, I can handle the procedures for you." The Xinguang monk smiled slightly. "That's it, rent it for 100 years first." Then Chen Tianqi took out 3,600 medium-grade spirit stones from his storage bag and handed them to the monk. Then Xinguang monk took out a token from the counter, which flashed yellow light, engraved the number 46 on it, and handed it to Chen Tianqi. "Taoist, please follow me after you get the token." Chen Tianqi and the other person followed the Xinguang monk all the way to the top of the mountain. After a while, the Xinguang monk stopped in a courtyard on the top of the mountain and slowly spoke to Chen Tianqi. "Taoist friend, this is your cave." Chen Tianqi looked at the courtyard full of birdsong and flowers. The rich spiritual energy was several times richer than the Linquan cave in Huangfeng Valley. He nodded with satisfaction. Seeing that Chen Tianqi was very satisfied, Xinguang monk smiled and said, "Since you're satisfied, I will not disturb you to rest." Then the Xinguang monk flew away. After he disappeared completely, Chen Tianqi complained distressedly. "My husband has spent so many spirit stones this time. The cave residence in Shiangsing City is really expensive. Moreover, it has to be rented for 100 years at a time. Ordinary cultivators may not be able to afford it at all." "Ha ha ha. Spiritual stones are meant to be spent. If they are not enough, we can go and earn some. And there is a reason why they are expensive. Look how many times richer the spiritual energy here is than that of Linquan Cave Mansion." Chen Tianqi smiled and gave her some psychological comfort. Chapter 34. 3 days later, Chen Tianqi came to a cave for spirit pets below through the secret passage in the courtyard. He looked at the cave with a suitable environment and beautiful scenery. It seemed that it was suitable for several little guys to live in. He immediately released 2 blood jade spiders that couldn't wait to come out. As soon as the blood jade spider came out, its 4 little eyes stared at Chen Tianqi, as if blaming him for letting it out now. Chen Tianqi smiled and pointed to the cave behind. One of the blood jade spiders turned around and spit out a spider web on Chen Tianqi's face, and then quickly ran to the top of the cave and began to spin silk to build a home. Chen Tianqi pulled off the spider web on his face and looked at the busy little guy speechlessly. Then Chen Tianqi came to the cave next to him. Unlike the previous one, there was a huge spirit tree growing inside, which was just suitable for the accommodation of the gold-eating worm. He took out the big egg of the gold-eating worm from the storage bag. As soon as he took it out, the big egg fell apart and turned into small insects that kept flying, making a buzzing sound. The small insects kept gathering in the air, and they kept gathering. After a while, a large group was formed, and then they rushed directly towards Chen Tianqi. Chen Tianqi summoned the spiritual shield, helplessly watching the gold-eating bugs surrounding him, which were constantly devouring his shield. If he had known earlier, he would have brought the blood jade spider with him. After all, it was mutually exclusive with a spider-like strange insects. But for the infancy of them, Chen Tianqi could not kill them. If he was too heavy-handed, he would really have nothing to do if they were all dead. Chen Tianqi had no choice but to try to use the nether fire magic power, and a dark blue flame ignited on his body. The gold-eating bugs seemed to have encountered a natural enemy. The densely packed bugs that were originally surrounding them were directly cleared and flew to the tree. Chen Tianqi saw that the nether fire magic power was useful, so he used the nether fire magic power to threaten them while wrapping the spirit tree with magic power to capture them. After a while, the gold-eating bugs gathered together again to form a large egg. Chen Tianqi, who had learned from the previous experience, quickly bit his finger and forced a drop of blood to drip on the egg to recognize the owner. After a series of operations, the gold-eating insects recognized their master and then released the restrictions. Only then could Chen Tianqi observe them carefully. He remembered the description of the gold-eating insects in the original book. They were good at swallowing metal and the spiritual energy of heaven and earth. They were extremely fierce, and they were not affected by water or fire. They were good at gathering in spheres. But I saw that the gold-eating insects looked very much like 7-spotted ladybugs, except that their backs were golden brown and shining with metallic luster. They were very dazzling from a distance. Moreover, their mouth parts actually had fine fangs and sharp teeth, and their insect feet were also very sharp. One may not pose any danger, but groups of gold-eating insects are in danger. Especially after adulthood, the eyes can release 2 very sharp golden blades about a foot long. 10 hands can release 10 feet long dazzling sword lights with cold air. Even if the soul is immortal, I will not be destroyed. Then Chen Tianqi let them live on the tree, and planted dozens of demon-attracting grasses around the tree that they loved to eat. After placing the spirit pet, Chen Tianqi came to the weapon refining room and started his own weapon refining business. After all, the spirit stones had been almost spent, so he had to refine more magic tools to sell and earn more spirit stones. 3 months later, Chen Tianqi came to the Multiverse business alliance with a storage bag full of various magic tools. As for why he chose this business alliance, listen to the name, Multiverse. Multiverse. A serious person can tell at a glance that it is a serious sect, and it is definitely not because there are many female cultivators in this business alliance. Chen Tianqi entered the attic of the Multiverse business alliance, looked at the cultivators around, and found that there were few people. A young woman with a beautiful figure and a broad mind was looking at a letter with a sad face and thinking about it. The first thing Chen Tianqi saw when he came in was this woman with such huge chest muscles. He walked up and knocked on the table in front of her. "Taoist friend, are you doing business here?" The young woman was startled and looked at Chen Tianqi with a frown, but then she sensed the fluctuation of the mana of the Jinden period and hurriedly stood up and saluted in panic. "I wonder if Zhou Yan has offended you by visiting me." When Chen Tianqi heard Zhou Yan's name, he thought of someone and asked, "Is there a woman named Zhou Rooting in your family?" "Ah. This is my cousin's name, she is 3 years old this year." "How did you know this?" Zhou Yan heard Chen Tianqi seem to know her cousin, but her cousin is only 3 years old now. "Is this guy a pervert?" Chen Tianqi looked at her as if he was looking at a pervert, and hurriedly spoke, fearing that she would misunderstand him. "Taoist friend, please don't misunderstand me. I just think you look like an old friend of mine, and that old friend of mine is also called Zhou Rooting. Heaven and earth can bear witness that he just wanted to know how old the future right envoy of my insect was this year, and he had absolutely no other thoughts." "I see. I apologize for any offense I have just given you. I wonder what business you are here for. I am a weapon refiner from other places, and I want to find a place to sell my magic weapons." After hearing Chen Tianqi's words, Zhou Yan was overjoyed, and his thoughts surged. Recently, the weapon refiner of the sect was poached by someone else, and they have been worried that no one would provide magic weapons for the Multiverse Merchant Alliance to sell. Then came this great god Chen Tianqi, who is also a Jinden stage cultivator. Now we have to treat him well, and it would be best if we can keep him in the Maoyan sect. With this in mind, Zhou Yan's face became more respectful, and he asked Senior, "May I check the quality of the magic tools you have refined?" Chen Tianqi immediately took out the storage bag he had prepared long ago and handed it to Zhou Yan. Zhou Yan took out each magic tool and carefully observed it. He found that the refining method was completely different from Luan Xinghei's refining method, and the quality was even better. Zhou Yan knew that this was definitely a master of refining. The idea of keeping Chen Tianqi in his heart became stronger. Then he showed a bit of joy on his face and said, "Senior is indeed a master of refining instruments. These instruments are of the best quality. My Maoyan sect is willing to purchase them at the price of 5 medium-quality spirit stones per item." If you are listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means it was downloaded and re-uploaded without effort. We warmly invite you to visit our channel, Fanfic World. There you will find the original version of this story and many other novels of various genres. We look forward to seeing you dive into a world of incredible novels. Chapter 35. Chen Tianqi thought for a moment and nodded. The price was high. After all, they had to make money by selling it. Seeing Chen Tianqi nodded in agreement, Zhou Yan quickly stood up and walked to the counter, taking out a bag of spirit stones and a token. "Senior, this is the spiritual stone for this transaction. I have something else to tell you. May I ask if you are willing to become the elder of my Maoyan sect?" Chen Tianqi frowned, wondering whether to agree or not, because he really wanted to agree. After all, 90% of them were female cultivators. When Zhou Yan saw Chen Tianqi frowning, he immediately felt bad and said, "Senior, please don't refuse yet. If you join my Maoyan sect, I can apply to the higher authorities for 500 medium-grade spirit stones per year, and I am willing to pay 10% of the income from the sale of the magic tools you made." She worked so hard because all her refiners had changed jobs. Without magic tools, the sect would definitely blame her. But now if she succeeds in luring a master refiner who is also a giant and cultivator, it will definitely be a great achievement. After all, my Maoyan sect now only has 2 giant and cultivators, and the other giant and cultivators are hired from outside. It's definitely a second-rate sect. Chen Tianqi looked at her with a smile on his face. He was going to agree, but he didn't expect her to give up her big move first. However, her sincerity was enough, so he agreed. Seeing Chen Tianqi agreed, Zhou Yan said happily, "May I ask your name?" "Senior, my surname is Chen, and my courtesy name is Tianqi." Zhou Yan engraved Chen Tianqi's name on the elder token and handed it to Chen Tianqi. "Please take this identity token." After Chen Tianqi received the token, he found that Zhou Yan's attitude was more enthusiastic than before, and he would attack Chen Tianqi with his huge chest armor from time to time. Chen Tianqi thought that he had to buy more monster luring grass to feed the gold-eating bugs, so he pulled it out of the trap of the chest armor with his strong willpower and left the Maoyan business alliance with an important matter. After Chen Tianqi bought the monster luring grass and planted it under the gold-eating bug tree, he began to bathe, burn incense, and worship the heavens and the earth. It was so grand because he was rewarded with a lottery for breaking through the giant stage, and he wanted to win a big prize. In the evening, after everything was ready, the lottery was started. The lottery is started, the system, which hadn't made any noise for a long time, made a sound. Ding, the lottery begins. Chen Tianqi stared at the screen of light that flashed countless numbers, looking forward to a big prize. Ding, congratulations on obtaining the spiritual treasure, Kyankan Peak, spiritual treasure. Looking at this thing that looks like a small hill, it doesn't seem like a big prize, but then he thought about it and realized that it was a spiritual treasure after all. Chen Tianqi consciously entered Kyankan Peak to check it out, and then his face was full of surprise. This turned out to be a spiritual treasure from the cave of a certain great man who had passed away. It contains the universe, and the space is huge. Not only does it have a huge spiritual vein, but it also grows many spiritual herbs and medicines. Chen Tianqi even found a small piece of Xianli bamboo forest. And they are all golden, which means they are all 10,000-year-old golden thunder bamboos. There are so many of them, enough for 2 people to make magic weapons. Chen Tianqi immediately summoned Kyankan Peak out of his hand, bit his finger, forced out blood and began to recognize the master. Chen Tianqi was startled when she saw the sudden small hill, and then asked with some curiosity, "Husband, where did you get this thing?" Chen Tianqi did not answer, but smiled happily, kissed Chen Tianqi several times and said, "Qiao Jin, You are really my lucky star. You and I have found our life-saving magic weapons. Originally, he was thinking about how to get the golden thunder bamboo from Huangfeng in the future. After all, he still owed him 3 favors. But now Chen Tianqi can not only start refining the green bamboo bee cloud sword, but also get the evil-repelling divine thunder contained in the golden thunder bamboo. This is a surefire way to restrain all kinds of demons and monsters. Time flies. 20 years have passed in a hurry. In the past 20 years, Chen Tianqi has used the golden thunder bamboo to make 2 sets of 72 King's Huangfeng sword magic weapons, one for himself and one for Chen Tianqi. The number of mecha puppets has also reached 18, and the level is all in the early stage of Jinden. It can be said to be extremely arrogant. In the past 20 years, Chen Tianqi has gradually become famous in the Chaos Star Sea. Because since Chen Tianqi joined the Mayaoyan sect, he has been refining high-quality magic tools to provide to the Mayaoyan sect. He also provides some magic tools for sale from time to time. In addition, the magic tools refined by Chen Tianqi are too good and cheap, and the techniques are special and cannot be imitated. As a result, the Mayaoyan sect has become completely popular in front of the cultivators in the lower layer of the Chaos Star Sea. After all, for technological creation, cost reduction is the first key. Who doesn't want to spend less spirit stones to get better things? Now the Mayaoyan sect has such a magic weapon. Compared with the magic tools of the same grade, the quality of the ones sold by the Mayaoyan sect is better, and the spirit stones spent are less, so naturally everyone goes to the Mayaoyan sect to buy them. In a short time, he became very popular in front of the lower-level cultivators. Later, even Xingong placed orders for several batches of magic tools in Mayaoyan. While Mayaoyan was gaining fame, it also established many opponents. After all, people are jealous. When Chen Tianqi was transporting the cargo of a merchant ship, he encountered robbers sent by other sects. They not only robbed the cargo but also robbed him. Chen Tianqi had to defend himself and killed them all. Then the name of Chen Tianqi as the first sword cultivator in the Jinden period spread, and his status in Mayaoyan rose rapidly. Xingong also paid more and more attention to him. Not only because he was young and powerful, but also because the magic tools he refined were comparable to the ancient treasures of ancient cultivators, and the power was extremely powerful. As early as when he first joined Mayaoyan, the master of Mayaoyan, Wang, set up a banquet to entertain Chen Tianqi. Now that Chen Tianqi's reputation is prominent, it coincides with the birthday of Wang Miao, the daughter of the master, and he set up a banquet to invite Chen Tianqi to attend. And let Chen Tianqi serve as the deputy master of Mayaoyan. In this way, Chen Tianqi and sect master Wang became brothers, and also met his daughter, Wang Ning, the future #1 beauty in the Chaos Star Sea, also known as Ziling. But now she is still a little lolly, with a delicate and cute appearance, and she has the potential to be the #1 beauty. And when sect master Wang saw that Chen Tianqi was handsome, strong, and full of yang energy, he thought he was a romantic man. At the banquet, he sent the busty female Xiu's Huan and the future foxy fan Zhuoxi to Chen Tianqi as personal maids. Let them serve Chen Tianqi well. As for what sect master Wang was thinking, Chen Tianqi naturally understood. After all, Mayaoyan sect, as a second-rate sect, had 2 brushes to survive in the Chaos Star Sea. Chen Tianqi, who accepted sect master Wang's kindness, appreciated the superb singing and dancing performances of Mayaoyan sect in the days after the banquet. Chen Tianqi exclaimed that it was worthy of the name Mayaoyan sect, and it really lived up to its name. This was of course recognized by Chen Tianqi. 5 years ago, her cultivation had reached the peak of foundation building, and now she had already entered into seclusion to prepare for the formation of the elixir. She knew Chen Tianqi's character very well. In addition, she was going to retreat, so she let him go. Chapter 36. Xiangxi City. Upper City. Mayaoyan Merchant Alliance Station. Chen Tianqi was lying on the top floor of the attic, admiring the singer's superb singing and dancing skills. Now she was constantly displaying her musical skills, playing music, and the sound was beautiful and moving. It was like listening to the music of the gods. Chen Tianqi was appreciating the art when the maid outside came with a voice. Master Chen, Master Wang invites you to Qixing Island to participate in the demon-suppressing ceremony of the Devil Saint's Day. Zhou Ruding was the one who spoke. She recalled that she was sent to Chen Tianqi's place by her cousin to be a maid not long ago. At first, Zhou thought that she was sent by her cousin to be a plaything of an old man, and she felt a little bit of resistance in her heart. After all, the temperament of the Maoi insect is well known by all the disciples. As a result, when she came here, she found that it was the most handsome, youngest and powerful deputy sect master in the sect. The resistance in her heart disappeared all of a sudden, and turned into joy. She immediately understood that her cousin was here to promote her. "Come in," Zhou, who was immersed in his mind, heard Chen Tianqi's reply and hurriedly pushed the door and walked in respectfully. Zhou Yan and Fan Jingmi felt a little shy and embarrassed when they saw someone coming in, and they couldn't help but stop playing the music. Chen Tianqi narrowed his eyes and said lazily, "Keep playing music, keep dancing." Fan Jingmi had to take a deep breath and continue playing the flute. Then Chen Tianqi looked at Zhou and asked calmly, "When will Brother Wang leave?" "Master Wang will leave tomorrow," Zhou said with a blush on her face. Chen Tianqi stretched and said slowly, "Tell Brother Wang that I have something to do these days, and I will go to Kixing Island to attend the ceremony in a few days." Zhou quickly agreed after hearing this. She was just here to pass on the message, so she couldn't do much. Then she complained in her heart, "I have something to do?" It doesn't look like that at all, but thinking that she might become like this in the future, her cheeks flushed and she quickly retreated. A few days later, Chen Tianqi took the teleportation array of Xianxing City to Kixing Island. Kixing Island was in the midst of the celebration of the Devil Saints' Day at this time, and there were huge crowds of people. As soon as Chen Tianqi entered the city, he saw that the surrounding shops were decorated with lights and colors, using the name of the Devil Saints' Day to promote sales to attract customers. When he walked to the center of the square at the front door, he saw 4 figures. 2 of the beauties should be the casual cultivators Yanli and Yuan Yao, plus the other 2 male cultivators, 1 tall and 1 short. When he looked closely, they were Han Pao Pao and Chu Hun. Chen Tianqi smiled slightly, walked up quickly, and patted Han Pao Pao on the shoulder. "Junior brother Han, long time no see, I missed you so much." Han Pao Pao was about to reject the kindness of the 2 beautiful female cultivators in front of him when he felt someone pat his shoulder and heard a voice from his ear. He turned around and saw that it was Chen Tianqi. Then he said with a surprised look on his face, "Senior brother Chen, you are here too." Then he thought that Chen Tianqi had told him about the teleportation array. So how could he not come here? "Brother Han, how are you? I didn't expect to see you here." Chen Tianqi laughed and put his arm around Han Li's shoulders, as if they were long-lost brothers. Han Pao Pao smiled bitterly. He didn't want to see Chen Tianqi. He still owed him a favor. Yanli, who was standing next to him, saw a man with unknown cultivation level, handsome face, gorgeous and noble clothes. It was obvious that he was of high rank. Compared with the ordinary Han Pao Pao, Yanli was more willing to bring Yuan Yao to this man. She immediately knew that a stronger thigh had come, and then she pulled Yuan Yao and said to Chen Tianqi with a smile on her face and a Sichuan accent, "Senior, my name is Yanli, and this is my sister Yuan Yao. I guess you and this little brother are both here for the first time on Kixing Island, right? Do you want me and my sister to be your guides?" After saying that, she winked at Chen Tianqi playfully. Chen Tianqi smacked his lips in his heart, thinking that it is so hard to be a casual cultivator now. Why do you want to cling to others? Han Pao Pao thought of Chen Tianqi, who came earlier than him, as a guide, and wanted to refuse immediately. But Chen Tianqi spoke first. "I am Chen Tianqi. Junior brother Han and I are here for the first time. We will trouble you 2 girls." Then he took out a bag of spiritual stones and handed it to Yanli. Seeing Chen Tianqi so generous and magnanimous, Yanli and the others immediately smiled and took the spiritual stones and hurriedly thanked him. "Thank you, Senior." "Thank you, Senior. Oh, am I that old? Just call me Brother Chen." Chen Tianqi looked at her teasingly. "The first step to get closer is to change the name." Yanli immediately smiled and responded to Chen Tianqi's words. "Ageless, Big Brother is the most handsome man I have ever seen." Then Yanli and Chen Tianqi and Han Pao Pao introduced the streets and markets of Kixing City, where the cheapest elixirs and magic tools were sold, and which shops were the most unscrupulous and the most deceptive. They all said it clearly. Along the way, Chen Tianqi used the eloquence he had practiced in Maoi insect for 20 years to make Yanli and Yuan Yao laugh non-stop, causing them to look at Chen Tianqi with a different color in their eyes. Han Pao Pao looked at the 3 people flirting in front of him with twitching eyes, as if he was the extra light bulb, and was extremely speechless in his heart. Family members, who understands? I met a man and a woman who were inferior to me when I went out. Chapter 37. Chen Tianqi held Yanli and Yuan'Iao's hands, and read their palms seriously, speaking slickly of the sayings of the charlatans. He also stroked them carefully from time to time. Han Li couldn't bear to watch it anymore, and said directly with a hint of resentment, "Senior brother Chen, 2 girls, I need some materials for forming a pill. Take me to a store where I can buy them first, and then you can get down to business." Yanli was watching Chen Tianqi's groping with a smile on her face. After all, she was sure that this was her golden son-in-law, when she heard Han Li's words. With a bit of surprise on her face, she asked, "Brother, are you going to form a pill?" "It's not me, but my uncle." Han Li was as cautious as ever, pointing the person who was about to form a pill at Chu Hun. Chu Hun also nodded in agreement and said, "I have reached the false elixir stage, and it is time to form the elixir. Senior, if you want the materials to make a pill now, you may have to participate in the demon suppression ceremony to have a chance to get the dust-reducing pill," Yuan Yao reminded Han Li warmly. Chen Tianqi smiled slightly after hearing this. "Isn't it time to get some money?" He immediately said to Han Li in a heroic manner, "Junior brother Han, junior brother Chu, if you need materials for forming a pill, just go to my Aoi insect and get them." Then Chen Tianqi took out his own token and prepared to hand it to Han Li. "I have some status in my Aoi insect, you just need to take my token and explain your intentions." Han Li frowned. He didn't expect Chen Tianqi to be so successful now, but he didn't want to owe him any more favors. Just as he finished thinking about the words, Yanli beside him excitedly made a fuss. "My Aoi insect. Big brother, your last name is Chen, and you are in my Aoi insect. Could it be that you are the famous weapon refining master, Master Chen, the #1 swordsman in the Jinden stage? Everyone says that you are kind and compassionate, and you have even lowered the price of the magic weapon." Yanli was so excited that she seemed to want to throw herself into Chen Tianqi's arms, and even Yuan Yao beside her was surprised and admired. "Originally, I just wanted to hug someone's thigh, but I didn't expect to hug an elephant's leg." Chen Tianqi enjoyed the admiring gazes of the 2 women, smiled modestly, waved his hand and said, "They are just empty names, not worth mentioning." Han Li had thought that Chen Tianqi was doing well, but he didn't expect that Chen Tianqi was doing so well, and he was so outstanding among the low-level cultivators. However, he still refused the good intention. "I didn't expect that senior brother Chen is so famous. I'm so sorry, we are of low status, and if we bother senior brother Chen to go inside the sect, I'm sure someone will gossip about us. In addition, we are a little interested in the demon suppression ceremony, so we won't bother senior brother Chen with the materials for the Dan formation." When Chen Tianqi saw Han Li refused, he didn't force him, but invited him to be a guest at the Maoi insect. "Since junior brother Han has other plans, I won't force him. Junior brother Han probably doesn't have a place to stay here, so why don't we go to the Maoi insect's residence to have a chat? Then I'll have to trouble senior brother Chen." Han Li did not refuse this time. After seeing Han Li's acceptance, Chen Tianqi turned to Yanli and Yuan'Iao and said, "I think I have a connection with you. If you want to stay in my Aoi insect, you can stay." After hearing this, Yanli looked at Yuan'Iao and understood from Yuan'Iao's eyes that she was also willing to stay in my Aoi insect immediately. They both showed happy smiles on their faces and thanked Chen Tianqi. "Thank you, big brother. From now on, my sister and I will be left to your care." "Thank you, brother Chen. Please take care of me in the future." Chen Tianqi smiled and looked at them meaningfully. "Of course, I will take care of you in the future." After a while, the 3 of them talked again in an ambiguous atmosphere. The scene was filled with the laughter of the beautiful girl and Chen Tianqi. Han Li's eyes twitched again. The man and woman below excluded him again, interrupting the 3 people's flirting again. "I wonder if Miss Yan can tell me more about the demon suppression ceremony." Yanli heard Han Li calling her again, interrupting her time to cultivate feelings. She had to pout a little unwillingly to explain the demon suppression ceremony to Han Li. The demon suppression ceremony was established to commemorate the past cultivators in Chaos Star Sea who sacrificed their lives and devoted themselves to the human race. It is precisely because of them that they can set up formations on various islands, which is why there is a distinction between the inner and outer seas. Whenever the demon suppression ceremony comes, Xingang and other sects will go to the outer sea to capture monsters for trials for the cultivators participating in the demon suppression ceremony. regardless of life or death. Of course, there will be generous rewards for winning. The biggest reward on Kixing Island this time is the dust reduction pill. After listening to Yanli's explanation, Hanli understood why there are so few high-level monsters in the inner sea. It turned out that there was a formation blocking them. Thank you, Miss Yan, for explaining to me. It's okay, I'm your guide too. Hanli's eyes twitched after hearing this, and he was speechless. You still know that you are my guide. After walking for a long time, Chen Tianqi and his companions came to the Maoi insect station and said to Hanli Jr. Brother Han, it's getting late today, you can rest here for the next few days. Hanli thought that having a good place to live seemed to avoid a lot of trouble, so he nodded in agreement. Then Chen Tianqi took out the token and showed it to the Maoi Inman guard at the door. The guard respectfully invited Chen Tianqi and the others in. He also arranged a room for Yanli and Hanli. Chapter 38. A few hours later, Chen Tianqi took out 2 bottles of pills and handed one to each of them. There are some foundation-building pills and a pill that can enhance spiritual root qualifications. After the demon-suppressing ceremony is over, you can follow me to Xiangxing City to build your foundation. In order to avoid trouble, Chen Tianqi did not tell them that it was a sky-repairing pill. Yanli and Yuanio were very surprised when they heard that it was a foundation-building pill and a very rare pill that could enhance qualifications. The next morning, Chen Tianqi got up early to attend the demon suppression ceremony. On the way, Chen Tianqi, with a Maoi insect sect master's token, came to the VIP stage of the demon suppression ceremony without any obstacles. As soon as he arrived at the stage, he saw sect master Wang in purple clothes from a distance, and walked up to greet him quickly. Brother Wang, I haven't seen you for a long time. I miss you so much. Master Wang heard a familiar voice and turned to see that it was Chen Tianqi. He immediately stood up happily to greet him. Ha, Brother Chen, you are finally here. Chen Tianqi came to Patriarch Wang, nodded to his wife, then touched Wang Ning's little head and said, I am a few days late, please bear with me. Brother Wang, Brother Chen, what are you talking about? You and I are brothers, what's the big deal? Brother Wang smiled so hard that his mustache curled up. At this time, Elder Gu and Elder Miao came up with a smile and complimented him. This must be the famous Master Chen in the sect. He is so young, but he has such a high level of cultivation. He really lives up to his reputation. Chen Tianqi was pinching Wang Ning's face and teasing her, which made her frown and look angry. Hearing this, Chen Tianqi immediately said modestly, it's just a false reputation, not worth mentioning. Then, regardless of Wang Ning's somewhat angry expression, he continued to play with her little face. Wang Ning could only turn her eyes to her mother for help, hoping that her mother would rescue her from the clutches of the devil. Unfortunately, the opposite happened. When Mrs. Wang saw it, she covered her mouth and laughed. Brother Chen and Ninger have such a good relationship. Wang Ning pouted after hearing this, and could only let Chen Tianqi, this strange big brother, continue to fiddle with her. While the few people were talking and laughing, the demon-suppressing ceremony began. Everyone returned to their seats, and Wang Ning was relieved, finally escaping from Chen Tianqi's devil's hand. If it weren't for the fact that Chen Tianqi often told her stories before, Wang Ning would have been furious. Elder Miao stood at the front desk and began his leadership speech. Just like the leaders in the previous life, the senior leaders here also like to paint big cakes and give chicken soup. But it must be said that at least the cakes given by Elder Miao can be eaten by others. I don't want to eat cakes in the previous life, and I may even have to pay for it. After Elder Miao finished speaking, the participating monks also went on stage in batches. Chen Tianqi sat on the chair and looked left and right at the audience below. He was not interested in the boring so-called trials, but was very interested in Feng Zai, the great man. After all, he is the kind-hearted man who helped Han Li advance in the original novel and gave him the wind and thunder wings. Laughs. After some observation by Chen Tianqi, he finally saw the kind-hearted man Feng Zai in the audience seats on the left. The person transformed by Feng Zai has a slender body and beautiful face, which seems a bit feminine to Chen Tianqi. Moreover, it is unknown what kind of magic Feng Zai used to hide all the characteristics of a monster on his body. You should know that Feng Zai is only an 8th level monster, early nascent soul stage, now, but there are still some characteristics of monsters on his body. At this time, Feng Zai was chewing a spirit stone and watching the trial between humans and monsters in the field. Suddenly, he felt something in his heart, looked back, and found Chen Tianqi on the stage staring at him. When Chen Tianqi saw the kind-hearted man turning around, he immediately looked at him and showed a sunny boy-like smile. Feng Zai grinned and smiled back at him, then turned his head and threw another spirit stone into his mouth, and whispered to himself, "Interesting boy." Feng Zai's intuition told him that this boy was not simple. After Feng Zai turned his head, it was Han Li's turn to enter the venue. Chen Tianqi stared at the system panel and thought to himself, name, Chen Tianqi, sex, male, age 48/660, spiritual roots, fire, gold bloodline, Kryptonian, civilian template, physique, Kryptonian physique, pure yang body skills, Kryptonian ability, 5 elements magic, equipment refiner, magic weapon level, puppet master, array master, spirit flame soul art, hellfire magic, heaven and earth furnace, hidden breath and concealment art, great evolution art, black peony infant art realm, peak of giant, number of draws, 0 number of crossings. 2 items, Kryptonian technology encyclopedia, complete collection of formations, mysterious armor shield, magic weapon level, 72 self-destructing flying swords, 72 green bamboo bee cloud swords, 18 mecha puppets, Kyankan Peak, a spiritual treasure in the cave, and spirit stones, and bottles of pills, and talismans. He was thinking whether he should give the good man gold coins in advance. After all, the wind-splitting beast is still very rare, and it covets the body of the good man. It is just right to use it to make a large mecha puppet. And with his current strength and the magic weapons he has, it is really no problem for him to deal with Feng Zai, who is in the early stage of the nascent soul. Just when Chen Tianqi was lost in thought, Han Li also completed the killing of the infant carp beast. The Wang sect master on the stage saw Han Li complete the counter-killing cleanly and uttered a cry of praise. The young are really to be feared. Yes, he is a simple, honest and kind person, Chen Tianqi echoed with a smirk on his face. After hearing this, Master Wang asked Chen Tianqi curiously, "Oh? There are such people in the world. Does Brother Chen know this little brother? We know each other. He used to be my fellow apprentice. He is also a warm-hearted person who is willing to help others among the cultivators, and always stands up for others." Chen Tianqi suppressed his smile and continued to praise Han Lao seriously. Sect Master Wang did not hear Chen Tianqi's sarcasm, but looked at Han Li with admiration. He's really a wonderful person. Chapter 39. After Han Li killed the infant carp beast, he was about to order Chu Hun to go forward and dig out the demon pill. However, Wu Zhou, who was hiding in the audience, showed up halfway. Wu Zhou didn't care about Bilian at all. He snatched the demon pill and flew into the air to show off. The 2 elders of the Liulian Hall saw someone making trouble and quickly walked to the fence. Elder Miao was surprised to find that it was Wu Zhou from Jian Island. Han Li saw that his spoils were taken away, and immediately pushed Elder Gu and Elder Miao to him. It's all up to the 2 elders to decide. Elder Miao, who had wanted to smooth things over after knowing it was Wu Zhou, saw Chu Hun pushing them in front of everyone. He had no choice but to fly up and confront Wu Zhou. At this time, Han Li also felt something was wrong, frowned, and protected everyone in front of him. During the confrontation between the few people, Sect Master Wang also noticed something was wrong and immediately sent a message to Chen Tianqi. "Brother Chen, it's a bit strange that Jian Island sent Wu Zhou to Kixing Island. If anything happens, please take care of my wife and daughter." Seeing Chen Tianqi agreed, Sect Master Wang immediately flew forward and joined Gu and Miao to confront Wu Zhou. After a while, Sect Master Wang and Wu Zhou started fighting. Mrs. Wang and Wang Ning on the stage looked at him with worry. Chen Tianqi took out the same snacks as Nang Guangwan and watched the fight one by one. Sect Master Wang and Wu Zhou were in a fierce stalemate. He was in the middle stage of Jiandan, and he was a music cultivator who entered the Tao with music. It was amazing that he could fight for so long against a middle stage Jiandan magic cultivator who had been deeply cultivating magic for many years. Sect Master Wang in the air was about to use his big move when he heard Wu Zhou shout. In a flash, Elder Miao on one side was backstabbed by Elder Gu, his good friend of hundreds of years. Sect Master Wang looked at him in shock. Seeing this scene, he seemed to have completely forgotten that he was still in the middle of a battle. Wu Zhou saw that Sect Master Wang was in a trance, and immediately summoned the magic weapon of the anchor to launch a sneak attack. Sect Master Wang was unable to dodge and was knocked down directly into the audience. The Xingong guards on the stage did not expect this to happen, but they all rushed up. The hidden disciples of Jian Island on Wu Zhou's side also appeared with his shout. They attacked the monks who were fleeing around. Chen Tianqi stood up and looked at the sea of fire all around. More than half of them were killed or injured. Looking carefully at the stage, Han Li had already run away. Chen Tianqi smiled, worthy of being Han Peo Peo. Then he followed Madame Wang and the two women to Sect Master Wang. Sect Master Wang stood up with a cough and said to Chen Tianqi, "Brother Chen, take my wife and Ninger and run. I'll stop them." Chen Tianqi smiled slightly. They had been brothers and friends for more than 20 years, so he thought it would be better not to let Patriarch Wang die. "What are you talking about, Brother Wang? And they are just a few grasshoppers, they can be suppressed by flipping their hands. Brother Wang, you should stay here and protect your wife and daughter." After Chen Tianqi said that, he flew forward and prepared to kill Xiaozhou and take the demon pill. Stealing the demon pill of his own brother Han. Isn't that courting death? Sect Master Wang seemed a little shocked. Someone took the bullet for you, and you didn't want to. You still want to run up and fight with others. At this time, the rebellious Elder Gu and Wu Zhou also activated the formation and blocked the arena. Mrs. Wang saw the scene and said, "Husband, we can only trust Brother Chen. Our top priority now is to clear out the other people on Jian Island and gather the remaining monks in the field." Master Wang sighed, nodded in agreement, and began to clear out the trash and save the monks. Chen Tianqi flew into the air and looked at Elder Gu and Wu Zhou. "You two Taoist friends have a really good plan. You can do such a thing under the nose of Xinggong." No, Master Chen, you are too kind. You are also our target on Jian Island." Ho ha, Wu Chao laughed and started to show off again. Chen Tianqi smiled, thinking that he would stop laughing later. With a wave of his hand, 18 giant stage mecha puppets appeared and roared together, resounding through the world. For a moment, all the cultivators fighting in the arena stopped and looked at the 18 steel monsters roaring fiercely. Sect Master Wang was surprised at first and then laughed. Ha, no wonder Brother Chen is so confident, he's actually a puppeteer. Feng's I was looking at these puppets from below and was shocked. The puppets were made completely different from traditional puppets. Instead, they looked more like living metal monsters. 18 mecha puppets formed a formation of 18 bronze men to surround Wu Zhou and Elder Gu. Following Chen Tianqi's order, the puppets all opened their bloody mouths and raised their claws to rush forward. Wu Zhou was so scared when he saw this scene that he almost wet his pants. They could still fight with 2 or 3 giant stage puppets, but with 18 of them, what was going on? Elder Gu was so scared that his soul flew out of his body. He just wanted to live forever. What was wrong with him? Why did he have to face a certain death just after he rebelled? At that moment, Wu Zhou shouted in panic. "Senior Feng, save me!" A figure appeared in front of Wu Zhou in the blink of an eye, like a phantom. With a wave of his aura, his spiritual power surged, and he bounced the puppet that rushed up. Feng's Eye's aura was no longer concealed at this time, and the aura of a ferocious and violent monster filled the whole place. Master Wang felt this violent aura, his face was full of shock, and he murmured to himself, "Are they really crazy? They actually let the transformed monster in, is it to release that?" Seeing Feng's Eye was about to show off, Chen Tianqi suddenly released his own might to fight against him. In an instant, 2 huge auras kept colliding and confronting each other, and the shocking auras caused cracks in the surrounding buildings. The 2 mighty auras pressed everyone present to the point of suffocation. Feng's Eye looked at Chen Tianqi with a bit of inquiry. "I didn't expect that a junior like you could use the strength of the giant stage to fight against my power of the Yuanying stage. I am a rare talent. If you are willing to sign a soul contract with me, equivalent to a spirit pet contract, I can spare your life," Chen Tianqi said coldly while confronting him naturally. "If you are willing to be my mount, I can go with you." Feng's eyes flashed with anger. He snorted coldly, and said coldly, "Since you are looking for death, then you can't blame me." Then a figure appeared behind Chen Tianqi like a ghost, stretched out a palm, and directly knocked Chen Tianqi to the ground. Before the smoke and dust dissipated, Chen Tianqi suddenly appeared in front of Feng's Eye, and a big slap hit him in the face. Feng's eyes showed astonishment, and he was slapped into the audience by this big slap. A moment later, an astonishing fluctuation of magic power erupted under the audience, instantly blasting the audience into ruins. Feng's Eye had a red and swollen face that was no longer beautiful, and the slap mark of Chen Tianqi was clearly visible on it. He shouted angrily, "Boy, you come to cheat, to sneak attack, to insult me, your old comrade of several hundred years. I want you dead." Chapter 40. Feng's eyes were filled with anger. Do you know how much psychological damage this big bastard has brought? He has never been humiliated like this before. He is determined to cut Chen Tianqi into pieces. His heart was burning with anger, and he sent out a huge cone-shaped wind blade towards Chen Tianqi without leaving any spare strength. Feng Zai's attack speed was very fast, living up to the reputation of the wind-splitting beast. In the blink of an eye, the attack came in front of Chen Tianqi. Chen Tianqi secretly gave orders to the puppet to kill Wuzhou and Elder Gu. He swung his arms to block, and as soon as he touched, he felt countless wind blades cutting his body in all directions, and directly blasted a road more than 10 feet wide and more than 100 feet long in the wall behind Chen Tianqi, and even the formation of the arena was completely destroyed. Chen Tianqi was wearing a piece of cloth, put his hands down, and countless blood marks swelled on his body in an instant. But they were just external injuries and did not touch the bones. Chen Tianqi looked at Feng Zai with bright eyes and said teasingly, "Great man, your magic doesn't seem to be that powerful." Feng Zai didn't know how many times he had been surprised today. The man in front of him was obviously no more than 50 years old, and his cultivation was not high, so why was his body so strong? Even if a physical cultivator or a monster was hit by this move, at least a few limbs would be broken. Could he be a demon god? Chen Tianqi looked at Feng Zai with his mouth wide open, and knew what he was thinking. Immediately, his figure flashed, and he came in front of him, and hit him hard on the other side of the face. Feng Zai was not able to do anything. He didn't expect Chen Tianqi to hit him again without even adjusting his breath. His body was hit to the right. Feng Zai stabilized his body in the air, but he didn't expect to be humiliated again. He shouted at Chen Tianqi with his face already red and swollen. "Boy, no matter who you are, I will kill you today." Then, Feng Zai directly transformed into his original form, and the sky-blocking wind-breaking beast appeared above Kixing City. It blew out fierce wind and attacked Chen Tianqi. Chen Tianqi didn't want to smell his bad breath, so he immediately summoned the spiritual shield and sacrificed 72 green bamboo bee cloud swords to surround him. Suddenly, countless sword ki burst out and rushed towards Feng Zai's huge body. The sword ki penetrated into the bones, blood flowed, and Feng Zai's huge beast mouth let out a scream. Then his eyes turned red, and he used various wind spells to smash Chen Tianqi, and his huge body also attacked Chen Tianqi directly. In an instant, the huge arena turned into. It was a ruin. Fortunately, at the moment when Feng Zai broke the formation, Sect Master Wang and his family of 3 fled with the remaining monks. A golden divine thunder spurted out from the ruins and hit Feng Zai's body directly. The powerful evil-repelling divine thunder mixed with a sharp sword energy pierced through Feng Zai's body. A large amount of blood poured out like a waterfall. Feng Zai also knew that Chen Tianqi's speed was too fast at this time, and he was at the same level as himself. As a result, it was inconvenient for the original body to fight, and the spells could not hide him at all. He turned into human form again, covering his wound, looking at Chen Tianqi with a sullen face. "I didn't expect you to have the divine thunder to ward off evil spirits." Chen Tianqi calmly recalled the green bamboo bee cloud sword and returned the previous sentence to him. "There are still many things you don't know. I think you should just be my mount. Maybe I can spare your life." Feng Zai was furious, his chest filled with anger, and he shouted, "Boy, take my move." Then a stronger spiritual energy fluctuation emerged from his body than before, and a fierce gust of wind blew away, raising billowing smoke and dust. Chen Tianqi was about to give him another evil-repelling divine thunder, but found that it was just a feint to deceive people. At this time, Feng Zai had already escaped far away using the secret technique of escape, and disappeared in the air in a short while. Chen Tianqi looked at Feng Zai, who was fleeing in a panic, and felt bored. It seemed that the 8th-level monster was just like this. He was about to exert his strength, and Feng Zai ran away. He really wanted to learn from Han Pao Pao and directly transform into Feng Pao Pao. Chen Tianqi sighed with regret. He was still greedy for Feng Zai's body. The 18 mecha puppets also returned with the bodies of Wuzhou and Elder Gu. Chen Tianqi put away their storage bags and did not burn the bodies. This had to be handed over to Zhenguang. It must be done. Then he turned into golden light and went to meet Patriarch Wang. Looking at the huge Kixing City from above, you will find that the area of 500 or 600 feet in radius with the arena as the center has turned into ruins. A moment later, Chen Tianqi caught up with Patriarch Wang and his family. After they saw Chen Tianqi, Patriarch Wang coughed awkwardly at Chen Tianqi, as if reminding him of something. Wang Ning and Mrs. Wang blushed and turned their heads away. Chen Tianqi was confused for 2 feet, and a breeze blew over, and he felt a chill in his balls. At this time, even Chen Tianqi, whose face was like a city wall, couldn't help feeling embarrassed. It seemed that he had lost his robe in the fight just now, and forgot to put his clothes back on after it was over. Patriarch Wang seemed to see Chen Tianqi's embarrassment, and immediately took out a set of clothes from the storage bag. If Brother Chen doesn't mind, then you can wear Wang's clothes. He thought to himself that Brother Chen was not only powerful, but also had a lot of money. Chen Tianqi thanked him gratefully and quickly put on his clothes. Then he thought, I didn't fight with Feng Zai naked just now, did I? It's over. This fight must have been seen by many people, and my reputation is gone. After Chen Tianqi broke the conspiracy between Feng Zai and Jian Island to release Lei Peng, the 6th elder of Xinguang came late. After hearing from many Xinguang monks that Chen Tianqi, with the cultivation of the middle stage of Jiandan, severely injured and repelled the 8th level monster. The first reaction of the 6th elder was disbelief. A middle stage of Jiandan wanted to wrestle with the Yuanying stage, and won. What a joke. In order to verify whether it was true, the 6th elder called Chen Tianqi. At first, he was high and mighty, but after trying a few moves, he became full of smiles and called him a Taoist friend. In the past few months, such a big event happened in Kixing Island, which continued to ferment in Chaos Star Sea. If Chen Tianqi was famous in Chaos Star Sea before, he is now famous all over the world and famous in the mountains and rivers. All major sects and monks have listed Chen Tianqi as a figure at the Yuanying level and treated him with the highest etiquette. He was also called the first person to form a den. And because of his naked buttocks, swinging a big sword, using thunder and swordsmanship to severely injure the 8th level monster, many people saw his deeds. It spread to all parts of the Chaos Star Sea at a viral speed, and it became more and more outrageous. Some said that Chen Tianqi was the thunder god who came down to the world to destroy these monsters. Others said that Chen Tianqi was definitely not a giant and cultivator, but a Huangshan old monster above the nascent soul, otherwise he would not have been able to severely injure the 8th level monster so easily, and he was not injured. In short, Chen Tianqi was gradually respected by many cultivators in the Chaos Star Sea as Thunder Sword Master. Chapter 41. Xiangxi City. The headquarters of Maoi insect after the Kixing Island incident a few months ago. Chen Tianqi brought Chuan Iao and Yanli to Xiangxi City and settled them in his own cave. Anyway, the whole mountain belongs to Chen Tianqi, and there are many caves to accommodate so many people. But Chen Tianqi's happy days did not last long. After completing their key training, they had to say goodbye and began to retreat to build their foundation. Chen Tianqi stood up and casually dismissed the many flattering and inviting him to be a guest. Only the voice transmission tokens of Sect Master Wang and Xinguang were left. There was no way. Since he became famous, he had to deal with a large number of voice transmission tokens every day. But he couldn't ignore it. After all, he still had to stay here, and he had to give them some face. Chen Tianqi looked at Sect Master Wang's voice transmission token and listened for a while. Only then did he realize that he wanted to set up a banquet in Xianlin Tower and invite Chen Tianqi to repay his life-saving grace. It seems that Sect Master Wang also prepared a gift. Then he replied to the voice transmission token, I will definitely come when the time comes, and let it fly away. He looked at the token of the Star Palace again, which meant that the great elder Jin Kui wanted to see him and specially invited him to discuss the Dao. Chen Tianqi naturally wanted to give face to this local snake, and immediately agreed, and the token flew out of the house. Zhou Yan's little head was pinned on his shoulder, close to Chen Tianqi's ear, exhaling like orchids, and said slowly and tenderly, Master, is there something that Xinguang and Sect Master Wang want to talk to you about? Chen Tianqi took a deep breath. They didn't have anything important to do, they just invited me to be their guest. Now I think something's up with you. A few days later, Chen Tianqi, who had a big appetite, accidentally wasted time again. He immediately decided not to indulge in pleasure so much in the future and to stop drinking. Chen Tianqi tied his belt, asked the maid to take good care of Zhou Yan, and went to Xianlin Tower for the banquet. Walking into the ancient Xianlin Tower, the maid in the building recognized the famous Chen Tianqi at a glance. She hurriedly stepped forward respectfully and saluted. Senior Chen, Senior Wang has been waiting for a long time. Please follow me. Chen Tianqi nodded and the maid quickly walked to the front to lead the way. After a while, they arrived at the Xianzi Pavilion at the top of Xianlin Tower. After the maid left, Chen Tianqi tidied up his clothes and makeup, smiled and pushed the door open. Ha, Brother Wang. I am late. I am sorry for the inconvenience. When the Wang family saw Chen Tianqi arrive, they all stood up and saluted with smiles on their faces. Hearing Chen Tianqi's words, Wang's mustache tilted upwards and smiled slightly. Brother Chen, you treat me like a brother, how can I blame you? Before Chen Tianqi severely injured Feng Zai, Sect Master Wang had already changed his words to call him senior. But he stopped because Chen Tianqi called him brother. Chen Tianqi said that it was not a big deal, after all, he was the future father-in-law. Everyone talked about their own things. But what surprised Chen Tianqi was that Wang Ning was so shy today. When he looked over, she immediately turned her head with a red face. Brother Chen, please sit down quickly and try the spiritual food from Xianlin Tower. Then Sect Master Wang asked Chen Tianqi to sit down. Without thinking too much, Chen Tianqi sat down next to Wang Ning. Sect Master Wang saw that his mustache was even more curled up and he was smiling. He immediately raised a glass of spiritual wine and toasted it to Chen Tianqi, then raised his head and drank it. Brother Chen, thank you for saving my family that day. This glass of wine, I toast you. Chen Tianqi also picked up a glass of wine and said in return, Master Wang, you don't need to thank me. I will do anything for my brother. After half a round of drinking, Master Wang took out the food he had prepared long ago and pushed it over. Brother Chen, this is a small gift from me. Please accept it. Chen Tianqi opened it and found that it was actually the heavenly thunder bamboo. Although he no longer needs this thing, Han Pao does. This is another opportunity to take advantage of him. Thank you very much, Brother Wang. This is the gift you mentioned. I am very satisfied with it. Chen Tianqi accepted the Xianli bamboo and smiled slightly. Upon hearing this, Sect Master Wang showed a mysterious smile. Ha, this is just a little token of my appreciation. It can't be considered a gift. This gift belongs to someone else. Chen Tianqi was puzzled. It seemed that the only thing you had was the heavenly thunder bamboo. Could it be that he wanted to? Chen Tianqi seemed to have guessed something, and a gleam of light flashed in his eyes. He immediately asked in confusion, so what is the gift that Brother Wang wants to give? Sect Master Wang stroked his mustache and seemed to be answering a question that was not relevant. What does Brother Chen think of my daughter? Chen Tianqi's eyes twitched. Sure enough, he guessed it right. My Aoyin sect relied on beauty to win over talented disciples from various sects, which allowed it to last for thousands of years. Otherwise, it would have been buried in history long ago. This sect Master Wang also saw Chen Tianqi's strength and potential, and wanted to sell his daughter for fame. After Chen Tianqi knew his intention, he immediately expressed his willingness. Ninger is smart and beautiful. I think there should be no one who doesn't like her. Master Wang smiled with satisfaction, stood up and bowed to Chen Tianqi. Brother Chen, after this incident, the Chaos Star Sea may have been undercurrents. For my daughter's future happiness, I hope Brother Chen can take my daughter as a concubine. After hearing this, Chen Tianqi looked at Wang Ning. No wonder she was so shy today. It turned out that her father had found a husband for her. When Wang Ning saw Chen Tianqi shifting his gaze to her, her face quietly rose a little red, but she still bravely looked at Chen Tianqi. Chen Tianqi looked at her purple eyes and rosy and tender face. She already had a charming appearance. Considering whether the Lord Wang was forcing Wang Ning to marry him, he still asked for safety. Brother Wang, you know that I don't like to force others to do things. May I ask if Ninger is willing? Brother Chen, I can't repay you for saving my life, I just want to serve you. Wang Ning heard this beside him, and his favorability increased greatly. He looked at him with his big watery eyes and said, if there is a favorability system, you will find that the favorability has reached 80 at this time. After all, when he was a child a few years ago, the favorability was not in vain. Master Wang stroked his mustache and looked at his daughter with a bit of satisfaction. Since Brother Chen and Ninger love each other, Brother Chen can take my daughter as his wife in a few years. Brother Wang, this is not right. How can Ninger be a concubine? Chen Tianqi pretended to be dissatisfied. Sect Master Wang didn't understand. He remembered that Chen Tianqi had a wife. In my hometown, a wife is a wife, regardless of her status, so they are all wives, Chen Tianqi explained. Patriarch Wang was stunned. What is polygamy? Shouldn't it be monogamy with multiple concubines? But he didn't think much about it. He thought it was because Chen Tianqi loved and valued his daughter. In this case, I won't say much about Brother Chen's affairs. I'll trouble Brother Chen to take care of my daughter in the future. Master Wang stroked his mustache and looked at Chen Tianqi and Wang Ning with a smile. The more he looked at them, the more he felt that they were a perfect match. Chen Tianqi joked, "So do I have to call you father-in-law from now on? Ha ha ha, Brother Chen, immortal cultivators don't care about trivial matters, let's talk about our own things." After eating and drinking, Chen Tianqi and Wang Ning made a marriage contract, and the ceremony would be held after Wang Ning established his foundation. If you are listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means it was downloaded and re-uploaded without effort. We warmly invite you to visit our channel, Fanfic World. There you will find the original version of this story and many other novels of various genres. We look forward to seeing you dive into a world of incredible novels. Chapter 42. After coming out of Xianlin Tower, it was still early. Master Wang threw Wang Ning to Chen Tianqi on the pretext of cultivating feelings. He left in a hurry with his wife. Chen Tianqi could only take the shy Wang Ning to stroll around the street. At first, Wang Ning was a little reluctant. This was the first time she left her parents and was with her future husband. This made her even more nervous, and she rubbed the corners of her clothes with her hands from time to time. Chen Tianqi saw that Wang Ning was a little uncomfortable, and immediately told her some strange stories to try to ease her nervousness. After a while, Wang Ning, who heard many things and stories she had never heard of from Chen Tianqi, gradually became active out of curiosity. Why are there no immortals there? How were their big steel birds made? Why can they fly into the sky? All kinds of questions came out in an endless stream, directly turning into 100,000 whys. She was full of desire for knowledge, no wonder she was smart since she was a child. It would be strange if someone with such a desire for knowledge was not smart. As the atmosphere became lively, Chen Tianqi also took Wang Ning's hand. Wang Ning's small hand was cool and soft to hold. Wang Ning felt her small hand being held by a big hand, her body trembled, and her face flushed again. She did not struggle, and let Chen Tianqi lead her. Seeing that she did not show any dissatisfaction, Chen Tianqi grinned and continued to tell her various stories. Just as Chen Tianqi and the other person were getting along happily. On the other side, the Star Palace's great elder Jin Kui brought the recording beads recorded by the informant that day to meet the Star Palace twin saints. On the Yuanxi Divine Mountain, Jin Kui knelt on one knee to salute and met the twin saints. "I'm Jin Kui, your subordinate. Greetings to the two saints, we have been brothers for many years, there is no need to do this," Ling Xiafeng said calmly. "No, the rules of the Xing Palace cannot be abolished, the order of hierarchy cannot be abolished, otherwise someone will take advantage of it." Jin Kui stood up and retorted. At this time, when Qing said, "Why did you come so many years earlier this time?" Jin Kui took out the photo beads and said, "I came here this time to show you something. Previously, Jian Island joined forces with the 8th level transformed monster to go to Kixing Island to release Lei Peng and destroy the barrier node, but all this was blocked by a giant and cultivator, so the two saints must have known about it." Then when Qing asked with some doubt, "Wasn't it a rumor among the people below that he was stopped by a giant and cultivator? I think some fellow Taoist is playing the pig to eat the tiger." At first, the subordinates thought so too, but after looking at the recording beads brought by the informant, they found that he was really a giant and cultivator, and his cultivation level was at most the false infant stage. Then the recording beads were activated, and the video footage of Chen Tianqi fanning Feng Zai's pussy with his bare buttocks began to play. Ling Xiafeng was shocked when he saw these pictures, not only because of the bizarre scene of Chen Tianqi fighting naked, but also because he actually severely injured the Yuanying stage with a Jinden stage. You know, it was an 8th level monster. Although it was in the early Yuanying stage, it could fight against the Yuanying stage of the human race. He had heard about it before, but after all, he had not seen it with his own eyes. He thought that Chen Tianqi concealed his breath and then spread rumors. As the picture played to the scene where the golden light divine thunder penetrated Feng's eye, Ling Xiafeng's pupils shrank slightly and he exclaimed, "The thunder of exorcism." "It's the thunder of exorcism?" Jin Kui smiled slightly when he heard Ling Xiafeng's surprise. He was also surprised when he first saw it. "Shuangshen, I have invited this person to discuss the Dao, and I will take this opportunity to try to win him over to the Xing Palace." Wen Qing was also very shocked by Chen Tianqi's cross-level battle. After hearing about Jin Qui's approach, he was also very satisfied with his decision. Junior brother, you handled it very well. This man is not far from the nascent soul stage. He will be even more powerful by then. If you can't win him over, you have to make friends with him, Ling Xiafang echoed from the side. Madam is right. Try to avoid unnecessary trouble. The Zushan Palace will be opened in a few decades. Those old ghosts who are about to die will probably go in and try their best to get the heaven-repairing pill. It's funny just to think about it, ha. Ling Xiafang laughed strangely, and Jin Kui also seemed to have thought of something and laughed along. When Qing heard that they were laughing like a Soul Hall elder, and quickly rebuked them. Okay, you guys should restrain yourself. You don't laugh like decent people. Jin Kui and Ling Xiafang coughed awkwardly. They were so emotional just now. No wonder they. On an unknown island in Chaos Star Sea. Feng Zai smashed everything on the island with a crazy look, venting something. He didn't expect that he didn't release Lei Peng to destroy the barrier node on Kixing Island, but almost died at the hands of a giant stage cultivator. He was also slapped twice by Chen Tianqi, so humiliated. The most important thing was that the scene was recorded by the recording bead. As a result, he is now being laughed at by the monsters in the sea. They all say that he is an incompetent monster. Feng Zai's magic power was rioting wildly, like the power of heaven, surging to the surroundings. In an instant, the sky was thundering and lightning, and the mountains on the island collapsed and turned into scorched earth. Feng Zai gritted his teeth in the air, his eyes full of hatred, and shouted in anger towards the direction of Xiangxing City. Chen Tianqi. You son of a bitch, I will never coexist with you. Hot you. Chen Tianqi sneezed, thinking that the little brat was scolding him. But he didn't think much about it, and reached out his hand to gently rub Wang Ning's little head, just like he used to rub a cat at home. Wang Ning's little face flushed a little. Brother Chen, I'm going home first. Can you tell me stories I haven't heard before? Looking at Wang Ning's innocent smile, Chen Tianqi's inner Lolita soul seemed to overflow. Of course, I will tell you whatever Ninger wants to hear in the future. After hearing this, Wang Ning showed a happy expression on her face, and walked into the Maoi insect's residence with a cheerful step. Chen Tianqi witnessed Wang Ning returning home, and turned into golden light and returned to the cave. Next, he would bathe and burn incense, and prepare to meet the great elder Jin Kui of the Xing Palace. 2 days later, Chen Tianqi came to Jin Kui's cave on the 80th floor of the Holy Mountain. Chen Tianqi stood outside the cave and waited quietly. After a while, Jin Kui came out in a white robe with a smile on his face. Mr. Chen Dao has come, and I am sorry that I failed to welcome you in person. Taoist fellow Jin, you are too kind. It is my great honor to discuss Taoism with you. Chen Tianqi smiled and returned the greeting. The two of them walked into the cave while talking and laughing. In the courtyard, Jin Kui pointed to the scenery outside and said, between mountains and rivers, there is the great Dao of heaven and earth. I wonder what Taoist Chen thinks about Dao? Chen Tianqi saw him start to discuss Dao and was a little confused. Could he really come here to discuss Dao? Chapter 43. Chen Tianqi pondered for a moment and said, Tao is everywhere and at all times. In these mountains and rivers, Tao is in the gurgling sound of flowing water and the lingering air of mountain mist. People like us who practice cultivation only need to be as calm as water, and we will naturally be able to feel the existence of Tao. After hearing this, Jin nodded in agreement. Well said, well said. Heaven and earth are not benevolent, and treat all things as straw dogs. We cultivators should learn to adapt to heaven and earth and understand the great Dao from all things in nature. The two of them discussed in depth while drinking tea. From the law of nature to the philosophy of life, they talked freely. After discussing the great Dao of heaven and earth in depth, Jin Kui turned his eyes. With a hint of seriousness and expectation in his tone, he slowly told Chen Tianqi his real purpose. Dao Chen, it is my great honor to have such an in-depth discussion with you today. I wonder if fellow Taoist Chen is willing to join the Xing Palace and seek the great Dao with us. Chen Tianqi's eyes flashed with a gleam of light. Sure enough, the main purpose of today was to invite him to join the Xing Palace. Chen Tianqi pondered for a moment, and then rejected Jin Kui's invitation in a very tactful way. Fellow Taoist Jin, I am deeply honored by your invitation. However, I have been wandering for half my life and in hard times. It was Brother Wang from Maoi Insect who received me. To repay your kindness, I have promised Brother Wang to protect Maoi Insect. Jin Kui sighed inwardly when he heard this. It was indeed not that easy to recruit him. But he quickly adjusted his mood, and his face showed a bit of understanding and respect. Chen Daoyao is so loyal and righteous, he is really a wonderful person. Then I don't have to force it. I am honored to discuss Taoism with you today. No matter where we are in the future, I hope we can still communicate and support each other as fellow Taoists. Although Chen Tianqi did not agree to join Xinggong, he still wanted to make friends with him. More friends are always better than more enemies. Then the two of them seemed to have forgotten the previous recruitment and continued to discuss Taoism, chatting happily. It was getting dark. Chen Tianqi also said goodbye to Jin Kui and left. One day later, Chen Tianqi, who returned to the cave, first fed the blood jade spider some soul-feeding pills. Then he went to the gold-eating insects to plant a large area of monster-luring grass, and poured a large amount of monster blood. This monster blood was the blood provided by the great benefactor Feng Zai that day. I cried to death. The gold-eating insects saw the blood of the great benefactor Feng Zai, and they swarmed in all of a sudden, and ate it all in a few breaths. The number of gold-eating insects at this time was several times more than 20 years ago, and the growth cycle had reached the juvenile stage. The body gradually transitioned to pure gold, and it had already formed a considerable fighting force. Seeing that they loved monster blood so much, Chen Tianqi decided to trouble the great benefactor Feng Zai again next time. After all, he will definitely help me, right? After feeding the spirit pet, Chen Tianqi returned to the courtyard. Looking at the clear sky, the blue sky and white clouds presented a peaceful and profound picture. Chen Tianqi suddenly felt a little empty, but he quickly changed his mind and realized that he now had many wives and concubines and was wealthy without worries. Why was he sighing here? He thought that it was because he had not emptied the magazine in the past few days. He immediately decided to go to the Maoi Inman base to conduct a surprise inspection to see if Zhou Yan was working seriously. Suddenly, the sky of Xiangsing City changed color. A large area of dark clouds covered an area of more than 10 miles with a holy mountain as the center. The thick silver lightning was dancing like a mad snake, and bursts of thunder were heard. The spiritual energy around the holy mountain began to rotate and roar with Chen Tianqi's cave as the center, forming a huge vortex of more than 10 miles, which swallowed up the spiritual energy of the surrounding heaven and earth. Fellow Taoist Chen's Taoist partner is also a person of natural talent, with rich magical power and a solid foundation. On the 80th floor of the holy mountain, Jin Kui looked at the direction of the dam-forming phenomenon and muttered to himself. Chen Tianqi looked at the spiritual energy rushing into the depths of the cave, and joy appeared on his face. He knew that Chen Tianqi had finally succeeded in forming a dan. 2 hours later, the dan-forming phenomenon in the sky gradually disappeared. Chen Tianqi raised a rippling smile on his face, standing in front of the retreat room ready to welcome Chen Tianqi. He was really happy for his lover. After a while, the secret door of the retreat room gradually opened. A graceful figure gradually appeared in the darkness. Chen Tianqi was filled with a pure smile, and looked at Chen Tianqi with gentle eyes. "My dear, I succeeded. I can finally help you." Chen Tianqi was deeply moved after hearing this. After forming the elixir, he was not happy for himself, but happy that he could help him in the future. Chen Tianqi walked up quickly, hugged her deeply in his arms, and said gently, "What a fool. Haven't you been helping me all along?" Chen Tianqi smiled charmingly, leaned her head on his shoulder, and said nothing more. Just like that, the two lovers, who had just been separated for a short time, hugged each other tightly, telling each other about their longing for each other after not seeing each other for many years. After a while, Chen Tianqi seemed to have some resentment in her eyes, and she said slowly, "Husband, you should have found a lot of sisters for me during my years of seclusion, right?" Chen Tianqi was sweating profusely, racking his brains to explain clearly, so that Chen Tianqi could accept it. "Ahem, I only found a few." Chen Tianqi pouted after hearing this, and she was so jealous. She had expected that during the period of seclusion, Chen Tianqi would definitely find her a sister. But she didn't expect that he would find several, and she immediately had a small temper with Chen Tianqi. "It seems that my husband had a lot of fun when I was away. Maybe he doesn't like me anymore." A yellow-faced woman, Chen Tianqi had smelled a lot of jealousy a long time ago, but after all, he couldn't control his brothers, so he had to stand at attention. "Madam, how can you say that? Look at your fair and tender face. I love you so much. How can I dislike you?" Chen Tianqi pinched Chen Tianqi's little face with his hands and said with a smile. Chen Tianqi pretended to struggle for a while, but soon immersed in Chen Tianqi's gentle actions. A glimmer of satisfaction flashed in her eyes. Although she still pretended to be angry, she had already forgiven him in her heart. Humph, that's easy to say. When I'm not around, do you forget about me every day? Chen Tianqi pretended to be angry and pouted, with a hint of coquettishness in her voice. Seeing this, Chen Tianqi knew that he had passed the test, and quickly assured, how could it be? Madam, if you are not around, I feel like I have lost my soul every day. These days, no matter what I do, I am thinking of you in my heart. Really? Chen Tianqi's eyes showed a little disbelief. Chen Tianqi saw the doubt in her eyes and immediately pretended to be furious. Since Madam doesn't believe it, I have no choice but to prove it with my actions. Chapter 44. A few hours later, Chen Tianqi's jealousy was swept away. Chen Tianqi looked at the well-behaved Chen Tianqi and realized that he had to get into the depths of a woman's heart. Chen Tianqi then told her everything that had happened during Chen Tianqi's seclusion over the years. Chen Tianqi listened attentively and did not expect that she had only been in Chaos Star Sea for more than 20 years when chaos began to appear. What concerned her more was Chen Tianqi's strength. She thought she had already caught up with Chen Tianqi. Unexpectedly, he left her behind in the blink of an eye. But then she thought, this is her own man. Her face was immediately filled with pride. Tianqi, not long ago, Brother Wang betrothed his daughter to me in return for saving his life. I didn't want to agree, but I thought that we were brothers and I couldn't ignore his kindness, so I agreed. Chen Tianqi rolled her eyes when she heard his hypocritical words and looked at him with a smile. Come on, I don't know who you are, but you are really good. You have been eyeing her since she was a child. She knew that the daughter of Master Wang was very beautiful since she was a child, and she also knew what kind of person Chen Tianqi was. He must have agreed excitedly at that time. Chen Tianqi heard that Chen Tianqi was slandering him, but he was a gentleman. He immediately retorted, who do you think I am? I am a gentleman. Besides, I didn't do anything. I just told Ninger a story. When will the husband marry Zioning? Seeing the topic coming to this, Chen Tianqi answered seriously. I plan to hold a fellow initiate ceremony with you in a few years, equivalent to a real wedding. Chen Tianqi was slightly puzzled. Yes. Previously in Xianan, due to the invasion of the demonic sect, I was unable to hold the ceremony with you. Let's hold it together this time. It's a compensation for you. Chen Tianqi nodded, smiled slightly, and looked at her affectionately. Chen Tianqi was moved and went forward to hug Chen Tianqi. Time flies. 5 years have passed in a hurry. But for a cultivator, it is just a blink of an eye. Since he made an engagement with Wang Ning, Chen Tianqi would go on dates with her from time to time. Or he would bring her to the cave to keep Chen Tianqi company. Chen Tianqi naturally liked this smart girl very much and loved her like a sister. She also warned Chen Tianqi not to do anything wrong to her. Chen Tianqi cried out that he was wronged. He treated her with respect now and often told her strange stories. He also planned to give her the Lingayan heart and soul Defa as the main practice after Wang Ning established her foundation. After all, Wang Ning was a female Sui in body, and it was naturally easier to practice magic skills, but at the same time she would gradually lose her human body. The Lingayan heart and soul Defa was originally created by Chen Tianqi combining several exercises and letting the system deduce and fuse them. Among them, there were 3 magic exercises, and the potential was absolutely great. So it was the most suitable practice for Wang Ning's physique. The most important thing is that the Lingayan heart and soul Defa can continue to fuse other exercises to upgrade. Later, the skills of the evil forces such as Jian Island and Liudao Jishin were snatched and integrated into them, and the Lingayan heart and soul art took off directly. Yuan Yao, Yanli, Fan Jingmi, and Zhou Ruding successfully built their foundation 4 years ago. Chen Tianqi also met them and accepted them. The girls were also sensible and called each other sister, and the atmosphere was relaxed and harmonious. Chen Tianqi was very satisfied to see that his harem did not catch fire, but was reunited and harmonious. Who said that the backyard is easy to catch fire? After they came out of seclusion, Chen Tianqi gave them different cultivation skills and a large number of foundation building pills according to their different spiritual roots and constitutions. Yuan Yao seemed to have a Xianan body, and Chen Tianqi had no more suitable skills for her, so he could only let her practice the Lingayan heart and soul art and teach her the Danju. Yanli and the other 3 girls, because they all had wood spiritual roots, asked Chen Tianqi to teach them the Kingate Swordju, and also taught them the Dainju. For a moment, the 4 girls were deeply moved that he could teach them such a precious high-level technique. 1. Chapter 45. Because Chen Tianqi had to prepare for the breakthrough of the nascent soul, he found that his golden elixir was extremely solid and difficult to break into a nascent soul in the past 5 years. He suspected that this golden elixir had the characteristics of the Kryptonian bloodline and the iron body, which made it indestructible now. So he now needs a lot of pills to stimulate the growth of mana, and try to see if he can use the huge mana to burst the golden elixir from the inside out to complete the breaking of the elixir into a nascent soul. Fortunately, there is a large spiritual medicine garden in the cave Lingbao Kyankan Peak that he won in the lottery. There are many medicinal herbs that increase cultivation and increase lifespan, such as Bushianzi, Shianin fruit, Bingling fruit, etc. It is enough for Chen Tianqi to make a lot of money. Chen Tianqi came to the cave of Master Wang and sent a voice transmission. Thinking of the past 5 years, Master Wang's position as the master of the sect is actually a bit in name only. The Maoyan sect is now headed by Chen Tianqi, and there is no need to send maids and concubines to others as before. On the contrary, other sects have many more disciples who actively pursue and curry favor with the female cultivators of the Maoyan sect. Master Wang said that he didn't care about his situation, but was very happy. After all, his daughter would be married soon. Let's treat this Maoyan sect as a dowry. Sect Master Wang was sorting out a batch of pills at this time, putting the pills in special boxes into bottles of jade bottles. These were the pills that Chen Tianqi had asked him to refine. Then he heard Chen Tianqi's voice transmission and realized that he had come to pick up the goods. He tidied up his clothes and went out to greet them with a smile. Brother Chen, you are visiting my humble home. I am sorry that I failed to welcome you from afar. Brother Wang, you don't have to be so polite. I am sorry to bother you. Chen Tianqi grinned and said in return. Brother Chen, I have received the elixir you entrusted to me. Then Sect Master Wang took out a dozen bottles of elixir and handed them to Chen Tianqi. Brother Chen, here are the soul calming pill, the Heoin pill, and the infant condensing pill. Chen Tianqi took the things and heard that there was an extra pill. He asked with a puzzled look. Thank you, Brother Wang, but where did this Yingying pill come from? Master Wang paused and continued. When the Star Palace's great elder Jin Kui heard that you were buying the soul calming pill, he sent someone to entrust me with the infant condensing pill and gave it to you. Chen Tianqi suddenly realized that after rejecting the Star Palace before, they were still unwilling to give up. Well, even if I owe them a favor, I will help them when the Chaos Star Alliance attacks me in the future. Seeing that Sect Master Wang was hesitant and hesitated, Chen Tianqi asked Brother Wang, is there anything else you want to tell me? It's nothing. I just thought that Brother Chen will be in seclusion soon to break through the nascent soul, so I was thinking why not hold the fellow practitioner ceremony while Brother Chen is still free. Chen Tianqi understood in his heart that he was afraid that Xingguang would abduct him, and he was the biggest supporter of Maoyan sect. He was not sure whether to laugh or cry, and replied, what Brother Wang said makes sense. I'll trouble Brother Wang to prepare a ceremony for me and my wives to practice together. Brother Chen, you don't have to be polite. I will do my best to organize the ceremony for you. When Master Wang saw Chen Tianqi agreed, he stroked his mustache and was as happy as a child weighing more than 100 pounds. The two talked for a while and then parted ways. Master Wang took his wife to prepare for the ceremony, while Chen Tianqi was going to inform the girls at home and let them prepare well. 6 months later, Chen Tianqi's fellow cultivator ceremony finally began. Without any surprise, the entire ceremony was hosted by Master Wang and Mrs. Wang. Moreover, when the major sects learned that Chen Tianqi was going to hold the fellow cultivator ceremony, the heads of various sects and families came to congratulate with generous gifts. In the world of immortal cultivation, the fellow cultivator ceremony is like a wedding in the human world, and it is one of the important rituals of immortal cultivators. The scene arranged by Master Wang was magnificent. The altar and the ceremony represented the sacred connection between Taoist couples. Chen Tianqi and the 7 women, dressed in gorgeous and festive Taoist robes, slowly circled around the altar and prayed with talismans, just like the vows and blessings in a human wedding. The sun shone through the clouds and sprinkled on the stage, illuminating the entire scene, symbolizing the sacred light. After the entire ceremony ended solemnly, because Chen Tianqi had no master or elders, Master Wang was embarrassed to let Chen Tianqi worship him and his wife, so he skipped this process and went directly to the scene where Chen Tianqi and the guests were drinking and talking happily. The leaders of different forces came forward to toast, smiling from ear to ear, and all kinds of praise, exclamation, and envy kept popping up. Some people said that they wished Senior Chen to be vigorous and have a son soon. Someone secretly stuffed some mysterious pills into him. Chen Tianqi didn't know whether to laugh or cry. He needed this thing. You haven't heard of the electric motor, right? If it weren't for the ceremony of their fellow practitioners today, they would have kicked this man out long ago. He has no sense at all. Now the 7 women have changed their way of addressing Chen Tianqi, and all call him husband. At the same time, they became sisters according to age. Chen Tianqi must be the eldest sister. Zhou Yan ranked second, followed by Yanli, Yuan Yao, Fan Jingmei, Zhou Ruding, and Wang Ning was the youngest. But Wang Ning was also loved by many sisters, and she was sensible and had no complaints, calling her sister. After the ceremony, the women returned to the cave first. Chen Tianqi still had to deal with Jin Kui's recruitment. After Jin Kui sent out the Ningying pill, he chose to continue recruiting Chen Tianqi after the ceremony. But Chen Tianqi was used to freedom and didn't want to go back to the days of being controlled by the sect, so he naturally rejected Jin Kui's recruitment. After hearing this, Jin Kui didn't get angry, and still smiled and congratulated Chen Tianqi on his success in forming a baby. Chapter 46. 1. Fan Jingmei and Zhou Ruding became the left and right emissaries of Maoi insect in advance because of Chen Tianqi, and followed Zhou Yan back to learn how to handle the affairs of the Chamber of Commerce. Yuan Yao and Yanli followed Chen Tianqi to learn how to draw talismans. Chen Tianqi is now the talisman master of Maoi insect. Wang Ning is still in seclusion to refine Yang Yuan. Chen Tianqi entered the seclusion room and began to work on breaking through the nascent soul. 5 years passed quickly. Chen Tianqi's spirit and energy reached the peak at this time. Chen Tianqi took a long breath and activated the heaven and earth furnace. Now his main practice is the heaven and earth furnace of dual cultivation of Dharma and body. He took out several Hao-Aden pills and swallowed them one after another, and took out several Bu-Shianzi and ate them. In an instant, the pure medicinal power of the pills and Bu-Shianzi continued to travel through the 4 meridians and 8 vessels, and finally followed the guidance of the practice into the golden elixir in the Danshan. Chen Tianqi's aura surged and continued to rise, gradually exceeding the mana fluctuations of the early nascent soul. This is the first level of breaking through the nascent soul, the mana level. As time passed, the magic power level was gradually passed. But the golden elixir still showed no signs of breaking. Instead, it was extremely solid and absorbed spiritual energy as steadily as Mount Tai. Chen Tianqi looked at the golden elixir and felt a little depressed. Why was it so difficult to break the elixir at the 2nd level? Take a deep breath. You can eat it, right? Then I will give you enough to eat until you burst. Then he took out a dozen bottles of Hao-Aden and a dozen Butian-Zhi that he had prepared and swallowed them quickly. After swallowing all the pills, the fierce medicinal power directly bulged Chen Tianqi's body. Fortunately, Chen Tianqi's body was unparalleled, and he was ready to carry the huge medicinal power to sprint. With a thought, he operated the furnace of heaven and earth, and the magic power around him surged and compressed continuously, and his body returned to normal. The spiritual energy around the cave was also constantly absorbed and gathered in the Danshan, forming a strong spiritual pressure, which instantly turned the abundant spiritual energy into liquid spiritual power and poured into the golden elixir. Continue. Continue. Chen Tianqi's speed of practicing the technique became faster and faster. The vast spiritual power gathered, almost making his figure hazy and hard to see. As more and more spiritual power gathered and poured into his body, a huge spiritual energy vortex appeared over the entire Xiangxing city, constantly gathering together. Chen Tianqi looked inside with his spiritual sense and found that the golden pill was already covered with dense cracks. And in the cracks, there seemed to be a white light hidden, about to burst out. He immediately took out the Ningying pill and swallowed it into his stomach. Break! Chen Tianqi shouted angrily, and his breath swept out from the cave. Suddenly, the golden elixir in the body poured out like a flood that broke through the dam, and washed along the Danshan, the 4 meridians, the limbs and bones. The sea of qi in the Danshan was mixed with destruction and rebirth, and the effect of the condensed infant pill was exerted, constantly nourishing the old place and constantly filling the gap. The completely broken golden elixir was embraced by the void soul and condensed into a vague baby figure like Chen Tianqi. Then, the Yuanying opened its mouth and sucked, and a large amount of spiritual energy around was sucked into its mouth, and countless light spots like stars were scattered all around. But soon the light spots in the danshan continued to gather, and gradually gathered into a red lotus platform. The Yuanying floated above the red lotus platform, like a new sun. The Yuanying's body was covered with flame patterns. A closer look showed that there was also a small vortex in the body, which was swallowing spiritual energy all the time. After a while, the Yuanying's figure became clearer, and it continued to grow, and his face looked more like Chen Tianqi. At this time, many mortals and monks in Xiangxing City were working as usual, and suddenly a huge pressure weighed heavily on them. As if being stared at by an ancient beast, their bodies trembled. The mortals were already pressed to the ground, and as for the key refining and foundation building monks, they were almost unable to stand under the pressure of the Yuanying monks' magic power. What's worse, those with weaker strength and cultivation almost knelt down. For a moment, the originally well-ordered Xiangxing City was in chaos, and all the mortals and monks in the entire Xiangxing City were alarmed. Is this Brother Chen overcoming the tribulation? Sect Master Wang held onto his body and leaned over the railing to look towards Chen Tianqi's cave. He felt that this kind of pressure was even stronger than that of the great elder of Xinguang. Chen Tianqi came to the women and summoned the golden light to relieve the pressure for them. She looked a little worried and murmured to herself, "Husband, you must succeed." She knew that failure to break through the nascent soul would lead to the decay of the nascent soul and death, but at this time she could only pray for Chen Tianqi in her heart. For a time, all the cultivators in Xiangxing City focused their attention on the area where the Holy Mountain Cultivation Cave was located. Some giant cultivators even came to the area not far from Chen Tianqi's cave. Inside the cave, the vast spiritual power was poured in. Chen Tianqi, who had already condensed the nascent soul, took it all in and refined it. Suddenly, the scenery in front of Chen Tianqi changed, and he came to an office building that he had not seen for a long time. Before Chen Tianqi could come back to his senses, a roar sounded from his ears. "Chen Tianqi, what are you standing here in a daze for? Do you know that you are late today? I will deduct 100 yuan from your salary." The middle-aged man with a big belly and a classic Mediterranean hair spit at Chen Tianqi. Chen Tianqi looked around and realized that he had come to the third heart demon tribulation. However, the scene of this heart demon tribulation was quite realistic. Chen Tianqi watched this scene with interest, and then a ferocious look appeared on his face. "You fat pig, die for me," he punched him. In an instant, the dream bubble disappeared, as if it was yesterday, and it turned into another scene. "Master, come and play. Master, come quickly, I'm ready, owner." Chen Tianqi looked at this group of beautiful women in silence. No matter how lustful he was not a lustful ghost. He snorted coldly. The illusion was shattered. In an instant, it seemed as if thousands or hundreds of years had passed. Chen Tianqi, who was in the illusion, was like a withered old man, ignoring everything he encountered and what happened, and remembering the great calamity of the inner demon. This inner demon illusion is really interesting. It brings out all the scenes in your memory. Fortunately, my heart is firm and I have not lost my way at all. Chen Tianqi opened his eyes and a happy smile appeared on his face. I didn't expect that this inner demon calamity came so suddenly, and I got through it without even taking the soul-soothing pill. Chapter 47. Boom. Chen Tianqi, who had survived the inner demon calamity, naturally walked out of the cultivation cave and looked up at the dark cloud over the Xiangxing City. He was not afraid at all. The last step is the Yuanying thunder calamity. It's coming. The thunder calamity clouds covered the entire sky over Xiangxing City. The rolling clouds, the flashing arcs, the occasional explosions, and the shining blue light. The Yuanying stage is one of the great thresholds in the world of immortal cultivation. To truly cross this realm, it is necessary to resist the thunder calamity that descends from heaven and earth. There are many cultivators who died in the Yuanying thunder calamity, which is one of the reasons why there are so few Yuanying cultivators. Chen Tianqi had a resolute face and looked at the supreme thunder of the nine heavens with a firm gaze, without a trace of retreat. Boom! Suddenly, a deep blue lightning as thick as a 1,000-year-old tree fell straight towards the direction where Chen Tianqi was. Chen Tianqi was not afraid at all. Not only did he not avoid it, but he stepped up and jumped straight into the falling thunder tribulation. 9 thunders in a row fell on Chen Tianqi with supreme power. Chen Tianqi was bathed in the thunder light, and he did not feel the pain he had imagined. Instead, he felt a burst of numbness all over his body, and the furnace of heaven and earth started to work and devour it hungrily. He was sighing in his heart that this thunder tribulation was just like this, and it would end here. The robbery clouds in the sky changed their expressions and gusts of strong winds blew up. For a while, the storm raged in Xiangxing City, and many cultivators in the Star Palace worked together to open their shields and try to resist the storm. Soon, countless strong winds gathered above the robbery clouds, forming an extremely huge eye of the storm. Woo! Woo! The eye of the wind seemed to be howling like ghosts and wolves, and then a fierce gale attacked Chen Tianqi. The gale blew past Chen Tianqi, and the skin and flesh on his body kept falling off like fragments, revealing a bloody and terrifying skeleton. Chen Tianqi felt waves of itching and pain, as if countless ants were biting him. He raised his hands and saw that his smooth skin was gone, and it was all flesh and bones. Chen Tianqi understood at this time. He had survived the 9-fold Yuanying Thunder Tribulation, and then the legendary 5-color Thunder Tribulation came. Now it was the flesh-scraping Heavenly Wind Tribulation. It seems that this should be the fault of the Heaven and Earth Furnace technique and bloodline. There was no time to think about it, and he activated the Heaven and Earth Furnace. The originally strong gale swirled around him and was constantly sucked into his body. In just 1 or 2 breaths, Chen Tianqi, who was about to become a skeleton, completely grew flesh and blood. And it was even stronger than his previous body. He also seized a trace of the wood origin of the Heavenly Wind Tribulation. The gusts of strong wind gradually subsided, and the many cultivators in Xiangxing City breathed a sigh of relief, and then they felt that the surroundings became extremely hot. Chen Tianqi's side ushered in the Heavenly Fire Tribulation, fire, and the originally cloudy sky instantly ignited a raging fire. A huge fire dragon poked out from the calamity cloud and roared, rushing towards Chen Tianqi. Chen Tianqi roared angrily, but was not afraid. He soared into the sky, and operated the furnace of heaven and earth in the same way, swallowing it all. He only felt that his body was burning extremely hot, and before he could adapt, the Heavenly Ice Tribulation, water, Heavenly Thunder Tribulation, gold, and Heavy Mountain Tribulation, earth, followed. The Yuanxi Divine Mountain on the Holy Mountain. Jin Kui and Xing Guang were stunned. They didn't expect that Chen Tianqi's Yuanying Tribulation would attract a 5-color Thunder Tribulation. This is a Thunder Tribulation that only falls when something that is intolerable to heaven and earth or a demon is born. Ha ha ha. Come on, keep coming. Chen Tianqi laughed loudly, looking at the rolling power of heaven, using his body to withstand it, and with the help of the furnace of heaven and earth, his body was constantly reborn and becoming stronger. Boom! As the last heavenly thunder, gold, fell, the wind howled, and the dark clouds in the sky disappeared, just like the sky cleared up after the rain. Many cultivators of Xiangxing sect looked at the figure in the sky above Xiangxing City, with envy, admiration, and worship. They witnessed the birth of a Yuanying Zhenjin, and also witnessed the majestic figure of Chen Tianqi who resisted the Thunder Tribulation. Chen Tianqi exhaled a breath of sword and gathered his own Yuanying. At this time, Yuanying, because of obtaining a trace of the origin of the 5-color Thunder Tribulation, was covered with 5 elements of divine patterns, and the light was dazzling. Then he released his divine consciousness, and the terrifying divine consciousness swept across the entire Xiangxing City. The range was surprisingly large, not like a cultivator who had just broken through the Yuanying. With a thought, he opened the system panel name, Chen Tianqi Sex, Male Age. 58/1160 Spiritual Roots, Gold, Wood, Water, Fire, Earth Bloodline, Kryptonian, Civilian Template, Physique, Kryptonian Physique, Pure Yang Physique, 5 Elements Physique Skills, Kryptonian Ability, 5 Elements Spell, Equipment Refiner, Magic Weapon Level, Puppet Master, Array Master, Spirit Flame Soul Magic, Hellfire Magic, 5 Elements Magic, Heaven and Earth Furnace, Hidden Breath and Concealment Magic, Great Evolution Magic, Black Peony Infant Magic Realm, Peak of the Early Nascent Soul Stage. Number of draws. 1 Number of crossings. 2 items, Kryptonian Technology Encyclopedia, complete collection of formations, Mysterious Armor Shield, Magic Weapon Level, 72 Self-Destructing Flying Swords, 72 Green Bamboo Bee Cloud Sword Magic Weapons, 18 Mecha Puppets, Kyankan Peak, a Spiritual Treasure in the Cave, N Spiritual Stones, N Bottles of Elixirs, and N talismans. Looking at the system panel, a gleam of light flashed in his eyes. It seems that this furnace of heaven and earth is the greatest treasure of Chen Tianqi. Not only has his body and soul been strengthened several times, but it also devoured the 5-color calamity for him, forged a 5-element body, supplemented the 5-element spiritual roots, and even allowed him to obtain the 5-element magical powers. Now it can be said that he is roaming the entire Chaos Star Sea. A breeze blew by, and Chen Tianqi felt a chill in his walls again, and hurriedly put on his robes. Fortunately, he is now in the sky and not many people can see him. Otherwise, rumors will spread again. On the Yuanxi Divine Mountain, Jin Kui and Xinggong Shuangsheng were frightened by Chen Tianqi's terrifying consciousness. If they hadn't been watching him transcend the tribulation, they would have thought it was a late-stage nascent soul cultivator acting. Ling Xiafeng looked at Chen Tianqi, who was in high spirits in the sky, and sighed. Junior brother, luckily you had the foresight to give him the Ningying pill, so that he would owe Xinggong a favor. Wen Qing also echoed yes. I didn't expect that he would have a terrifying consciousness comparable to that of the late nascent soul just after he passed the tribulation and became a nascent soul cultivator. He is indeed the evildoer who attracted the 5-colored thunder tribulation. Jin Kui swallowed his saliva, still immersed in the scene of Chen Tianqi passing the 5-colored thunder tribulation. Thank you for the praise, both saints. I didn't expect that Brother Chen Daoist is such a monster. It's really unpredictable. It seems that I can't look down on people in the world anymore. Fortunately, Xinggong didn't become his enemy, Ling Xiafeng sighed and said with some relief. Wen Qing pondered for a moment and said to Jin Kui Jr. Brother, after a few days, go and give Brother Chen Daoyao a few bottles of Piang pills. You must pull him to our side, or at least make him remain neutral. Jin Kui nodded repeatedly in agreement. Chapter 48. Half a year passed quickly. Chen Tianqi completely stabilized his cultivation and used the 5 elements magical powers skillfully. He also used the materials at hand to update the mecha puppets, all of which reached the late stage of Danji. Chen Tianqi felt the beauty of his current state and walked out of the cave with great joy. As soon as he left the cave and came to the courtyard, he saw Chen Tianqi, who looked a little sad. Chen Tianqi was very distressed recently, not knowing whether she should disturb Chen Tianqi's retreat. Not long ago, she learned that the Jian ancestor of Jian Island had come out of retreat. When the Wang couple escorted the goods of the Merchant Alliance, they encountered the Jian ancestor who was waiting on purpose, and the two were brutally killed. Now Wang Ning is heartbroken, but he refuses to tell Chen Tianqi, just because he is still in retreat to stabilize his cultivation and doesn't want to disturb him. Chen Tianqi couldn't bear Wang Ning so sad, and wanted to come to the cave alone to tell Chen Tianqi. So there was the scene of her wandering in the courtyard. Chen Tianqi was about to send a voice message when she saw Chen Tianqi coming out of retreat. With joy on his face, he immediately rushed forward to tell him about Wang Ning's parents. My husband, you finally came out, Tianqi, you look like you have something to tell me? Chen Tianqi looked at Chen Tianqi, who looked a little anxious, and asked. My husband, the Wang family has been killed by the Jian patriarch. Go and see Zioning. Chen Tianqi quickly told him the whole story. After hearing that the Wang family had been killed, Chen Tianqi was furious. He calmed down and asked in a cold voice, doesn't this old ghost know that I am the one protecting my Oi insect? His voice was full of anger. Seeing this, Chen Tianqi knew that Chen Tianqi was very angry, so she gently consoled him. Husband, this matter has been done. The most important thing now is to deal with Xiao Ning's emotions. Chen Tianqi took a deep breath and nodded to show his understanding. He knew that he needed to deal with it calmly now and not let his emotions cloud his mind. His reputation has now spread throughout the Chaos Star Sea. Even if the Jian patriarch has been in seclusion and has never gone out, he must have heard of Chen Tianqi's name. So Chen Tianqi had a hunch that there must be a conspiracy here, and someone was calculating against him. Okay, let's go see Zioning first, and then discuss countermeasures, Chen Tianqi said, and took Chen Tianqi to escape to Wang Ning's Maoiman residence. They came to Wang Ning's room and met Fan Jingyi and Zhou Ruding, who were wandering outside the room. When they saw Chen Tianqi, their faces lit up, and Zhou Ruding hurried forward and said, Husband, you are out. Go and comfort Zioning. Chen Tianqi nodded, said nothing, took a deep breath and walked into Wang Ning's room. Wang Ning was sitting alone in the room, looking lonely, with deep sadness in her eyes. Ninger, what's wrong with you? Chen Tianqi walked up and asked softly. Wang Ning raised her head and found that it was Chen Tianqi. She immediately looked at Chen Tianqi with tears in her eyes. Her voice was choked with sobs. My husband, my father, my mother, they all, I understand, Ninger. Chen Tianqi looked at her affectionately, walked up to her and held her in his arms, saying gently and firmly, I will seek justice for you. I will also use Jian's hide to worship Brother Wang. Wang Ning couldn't bear it anymore, and buried her head in Chen Tianqi's chest. Tears kept falling down, wetting the clothes on her chest. Chen Tianqi just hugged her gently. After a long time, Wang Ning, who seemed to be tired of crying, fell asleep in Chen Tianqi's arms. Chen Tianqi picked her up gently and put her on the bed. Then he went to the room, told Chen Tianqi and the other girls to take good care of him, and then fled from Xianxing City with a murderous look on his face. Even if he knew it was a trap, he would go for it. As soon as he escaped from Xianxing City, Chen Tianqi was stopped by Jin Kui. Chen Tianqi frowned. He was not in a good mood at the moment, so he didn't say anything polite. He said coldly, fellow Taoist Jin, are you going to stop me? When Jin Kui saw Chen Tianqi's expression change, he hurriedly explained, don't misunderstand, fellow Taoist Chen. This is probably a trap for you. A gentleman's revenge is never too late. Fellow Taoist Chen, please think twice. Seeing that he had no intention of stopping him, Chen Tianqi's expression slowed down a lot and he spoke slowly. Thank you, Brother Jin, for the reminder, but I am not a gentleman and I cannot wait for 10 years. Since he dares to make trouble for me, it means he is ready to be killed by me. Jin Kui saw that Chen Tianqi was determined to leave, and gritted his teeth and said, Chen Tianqi is really a man of temperament. I wonder if he needs Xingong's help. Fellow Taoist Jin, I appreciate your kindness. You don't need to bother Xingong. I want to see what this giant island is doing. After Chen Tianqi thanked him, he turned into golden light and disappeared in front of Jin Kui without waiting for Jin Kui to reply. Jin Kui sighed. In his opinion, it was just the parents of one of Chen Tianqi's wives and concubines who were killed. How could the evil like Chen Tianqi be so reckless and lose his mind because of a woman's bewitching? Unfortunately, he didn't know that Chen Tianqi was confident in his strength. Now Chen Tianqi's body is no problem to fight against the incarnation of the spirit, and the incarnation of the spirit can be suppressed with just a flip of the hand. There is a gloomy island in the Chaos Star Sea, with houses standing in rows, and disciples wearing giant island costumes patrolling everywhere. A laid-off Kigan disciple was drunk and staggered to the edge of the island. He took off his pants and was about to pee. A huge pressure swept from the horizon, and the Kigan disciple was instantly crushed and turned into blood mist. The same scene was constantly played out in various places on Jian Island. Jian Island, which was already full of ghosts, was suddenly covered with a layer of blood mist, which looked even more weird. The remaining disciples hurriedly activated the island protection formation. Chen Tianqi stopped above Jian Island and pinched the magic formula in his hand. In an instant, Jian Island was extremely turbulent, as if the earth dragon was turning over. The mountains collapsed. The houses turned into ruins, and the formation was destroyed. This is the earth element magic power, one of the 5 elements. It can manipulate the power of the earth, deform mountains, cause earthquakes and landslides, or condense oil to create a solid defensive barrier. Then the spells on his hands changed, and he used the magical power of gold. A huge golden light wheel attacked Jian Island. The golden light wheel kept cutting Jian Island, and the whole island was about to collapse. From the depths of the island, an old man with a sinister face and a thin body flew out. The man was the ancestor of Jian. Jian hurriedly used magic to resist, but the magical power of gold could condense the power of diamond, which had an indestructible and extremely powerful attack power. It was definitely not something a small Yuanying in the early stage could resist. Seeing that his own island was about to be destroyed, Jian's face became anxious, and a dark flame shot out from his hand, turning into a huge and hideous skull and attacking Chen Tianqi. If you are listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means it was downloaded and re-uploaded without effort. We warmly invite you to visit our channel, Fanfic World. There you will find the original version of this story and many other novels of various genres. We look forward to seeing you dive into a world of incredible novels. Chapter 49. Ji Yin used the magical power of Xiandu corpse fire that he had cultivated for 100 years. Chen Tianqi pinched the magic formula with his hands, and there was another change. A dragon with extremely cold and piercing coldness appeared out of thin air and circled around Chen Tianqi. This was the dragon transformed by the magical power of water. Then the ice dragon roared angrily and rushed towards Ji Yin's Xiandu corpse fire. Ji Yin was secretly surprised to see Chen Tianqi release such a powerful magical power that could restrain his Xiandu corpse fire. He did not dare to be careless and immediately used the defense method of Xiandu corpse fire. A dark wall of fire appeared out of thin air and blocked the impact of the ice dragon. However, the ice dragon did not stop. It roared, and the icy breath condensed into countless ice spikes, shooting wildly at the fire wall. Chen Tianqi concentrated his mind and gathered his energy. He took a deep breath and changed his hand formula again. The ice dragon roared and turned into ice and snow all over the sky, colliding with the Xiandu corpse fire. Fire and ice intertwined, and for a moment the world seemed to freeze. The interweaving of fire and ice and snow formed a chaotic battlefield. The ice and snow power transformed by the frost dragon gradually suppressed the extremely yin Xiandu corpse fire. The fire gradually lost its former ferocity and was restrained by the ice and snow. Fellow Taoist Chen, are you sure you want to risk your life for the leader of a second-rate sect? Ji Yin screamed, and used all his strength to display the Xiandu corpse fire in his hands, trying to break free from the shackles of the frost dragon. After hearing this, Chen Tianqi just wanted to laugh. Did you lead me here? Old man, you dare to touch the Tai Sui, you are already seeking death. But Chen Tianqi ruthlessly increased his offensive, and the power of ice and snow became more and more condensed, completely extinguishing the Xiandu corpse fire. Ji Yin vomited blood, and before he could adjust, countless ice and snow condensed into an ice dragon again and rushed towards him. The alien fire python wrapped around Ji Yin's arm instantly grew larger and rushed forward to resist the ice dragon. Then Ji Yin hurriedly shouted, "What are you waiting for? Come out now." After a moment, a loud laugh came from under the island. "Ha ha ha, old ghost Ji Yin, don't be so anxious. I want to watch it for a while longer." "But Liu Dao, you are really good at calculating. You actually predicted that this kid would come." "Friend Jian, how are you?" The visitors were a strange man with curly yellow beard and blue robe, and a man in black robe with his face covered. "Man Huzi, stop talking nonsense here. This kid's strength is not what you said." Man Huzi heard this and laughed again. "Just because you can't beat him doesn't mean I can't beat him. I'm not as weak as you." After hearing this, Ji Yin's veins popped up on his head and his eyes were fierce. He was about to fight back when he was interrupted by the black-robed man next to him. "My two Taoist friends, let's deal with this person first." Ji Yin waved his sleeves, snorted coldly, and turned his head. Chen Tianqi looked at the three nascent soul cultivators in front of him, one in the early stage of nascent soul, and two in the middle stage of nascent soul. Especially the man in black robe, with that greedy look, looking at him as if he was looking at a naked beauty, coveting Chen Tianqi's body. Chen Tianqi's face flashed with murderous intent, and his eyes showed fierceness. It seemed that the man in black robe was the mastermind behind the scenes. Looking at other people's bodies so greedily, he should be the sixth Dao extreme saint who practiced the sixth extreme true demon art. He is now looking for a suitable nascent soul body everywhere to refine the corpse and complete the sixth extreme true demon irrigation in the sixth extreme true demon art. As a physical cultivator, Man Huzi is one of his targets. Now Chen Tianqi, who has an extremely strong body, is also ha. Master Chen is really unparalleled in magical power. Man Huzi laughed rudely, with a bit of admiration on his face. He didn't expect Chen Tianqi to really dare to come to Jian Island to find Jian to avenge his woman. Chen Tianqi snorted coldly, ignored Man Huzi at all, quickly pinched the magic formula in his hand, and the fire element magical power came out. In an instant, Jian Island and the surrounding sea area were burning fiercely, like a sea of fire. The three people of Jian had to fly into the air, but the sea of fire changed, and countless fire dragons gushed out. The fire dragon soared into the air and pounced on the three people of Jian. The hot breath burned the entire sky, which was terrifying. A trace of solemnity flashed in Ji Yin's eyes, and with a wave of his hand, 16 Xiandu corpse monsters appeared in front of him. He didn't know how many magical powers this kid had. Whether it was him or Man Huzi, Liu Dao Jishan didn't dare to take it lightly. Man Huzi grinned, and his body expanded instantly after practicing the two-ocean magic art. His muscles bulged, and he became extremely huge. When the fire dragon pounced on him, he was not afraid, and punched out, and wherever it went, the fire dragon turned into nothingness. Liu Dao Jishin looked calm, and the black air in his hand enveloped and expanded, resisting the surrounding flames, preventing the heat of the sea of fire from invading the three of them. On the person, Chen Tianqi took a deep breath, formed seals with his hands, mobilized the power of the 5 elements in his body, and displayed the 5 elements magic. A dazzling colorful light burst out from his body, like 5 huge light pillars piercing through the sky and the earth. The 5 elements divine light contained extremely strong destructive power, and it attacked the 3 people of Jian at an astonishing speed. The power of the 5 elements of fire, water, wood, gold, and earth intertwined together, colorful, forming an irresistible powerful energy. The faces of the 3 people of Jian suddenly changed. They felt the oppression from the 5 elements divine light, and a trace of fear arose in their hearts. Panic. Jian hurriedly used the Xiandu corpse fire again and blocked the 16 Xiandu corpse demons in front of him, and he turned into a hideous blood cocoon and began to transform into a demon. Manhuzi hurriedly activated the heaven-supporting magic art, his muscles bulged, strengthening his physical defense, and summoned a bright golden multi-layered small tower to cover himself, trying to resist this powerful attack. Liu Dao Jishin also had a trace of panic in his eyes, and hurriedly offered a banner to protect himself. The banner was made of human bones, with some gray-white runes faintly visible. And on the top were 3 skulls of different sizes. At the same time, his hands the black gas shield also began to become unstable. With the impact of the 5 elements divine light, cracks began to appear in his defense. Wherever the 5 elements divine light went, the sea of fire was extinguished, the ice and snow melted, the storm dissipated, the land collapsed, and everything was completely destroyed. A trace of determination flashed in Chen Tianqi's eyes. He wanted to completely annihilate the 3 people of Jian and their Yuanying, leaving no trouble. The magic weapon of the barbarian beard small tower was damaged, taking away most of the power of the 5 elements divine light, and the rest was all carried by the flesh. But it was still corroded by the 5 elements divine light. There was no intact place on his body. The white bones were visible to the naked eye and fell into the sea. The 16 Xiandu corpse monsters were all annihilated. Jian's body was directly blasted apart by the 5 elements divine light. The Yuanying in his body was severely damaged, but he still left his body and quickly fled in a direction. When the 5 elements divine light shattered his shield, the 6 Paths Extreme Saint relied on the banner magic weapon to carry the Yuanying and abandoned his body to escape directly. Chen Tianqi looked at the small flag, his eyes flashed. It could carry the nascent soul and escape safely under the 5 elements divine light. It should be the 3 Gods Bones banner. Refining the 3 Gods Bones banner requires blood sacrifices from monks, which is extremely bloody. Almost all monks who have refined the 3 Gods Bones banner have no good results. But it has an extremely powerful ability to disrupt the mind, which can attack or protect the soul, and is extremely powerful. Chapter 50. Seeing the 2 people gradually moving away, Chen Tianqi frowned. It was really hard to kill a Yuanying cultivator. Then Chen Tianqi's eyes glowed red, and a hot ray as thick as a bucket shot out, chasing after Jian. Then he pinched the magic formula with his hands, bursts of dark blue flames emerged from his body, and he displayed the magical power of nether fire, forming a nether dragon outside his body, chasing after Liu Dao Jishin. Manhuzi, who fell to the bottom of the sea, saw Jian and Liu Dao Jishin running faster than each other, and couldn't help but curse. But he couldn't bear to give up this body that he had worked so hard to cultivate, and was hesitating whether to abandon it, when the Yuanying left his body and fled away. It only took 1 or 2 breaths for Chen Tianqi to come in front of him. At this time, Manhuzi saw that Chen Tianqi did not chase them, but came here first, and was immediately shocked. Then he was filled with a flattering smile, but his face had no skin tissue, which was creepy. Fellow Taoist Chen, this is all a misunderstanding. I never wanted to be your enemy. Chen Tianqi looked at him coldly and said sternly, you should know that I don't want to hear you say this. Manhuzi was stunned for a moment, then he quickly spoke, it's Liu Dao. This guy swore in his heart that he would offer us Butyeondan and show Yuan Guo after entering Sutian Palace, and bewitched us to deal with you together. A gleam of light flashed in Chen Tianqi's eyes, and his mind was surging. This 6 Dao Jishin is really good at calculating. Knowing that he is extremely powerful, he still wants to bewitch Manhuzi and Ji Yin to attack him together. It is obvious that he wants to do a mantis stalking a cicada while the oriole is behind. When Chen Tianqi severely injures Ji Yin and Manhuzi and his own mana is exhausted, he will bar his fangs and train all three of them into corpses. In this way, 3 Yuanying refined corpses will be obtained in vain to complete the irrigation of the 6 extreme true demons. As for the agreement between Ji Yin and the others, I'm sorry, you were all killed by Chen Tianqi. What agreement is there? But unfortunately, the 6th Daojishan could not have expected that Chen Tianqi, who had just broken through the Yuanying, could kill the 3 of them in one encounter. Manhuzi, if you want to live, you must sign a soul contract with me. Chen Tianqi turned to look at Manhuzi and threatened him coldly. A trace of anger flashed in Manhuzi's eyes, but he quickly suppressed it and said with a flattering smile, "Fellow Taoist Chen, I am willing to give up all my wealth in exchange for my life." Chen Tianqi frowned, a little impatient, and was about to speak. A 3-eyed leopard opened its bloody mouth and attacked from behind Chen Tianqi. In an instant, a metal claw blocked the attack of the 3-eyed leopard and knocked it away. Chen Tianqi snorted coldly, "I have been on guard against you for a long time." Immediately, 18 mecha puppets appeared together and surrounded the 3-eyed leopard. Seeing that his own natal beast's sneak attack failed, Manhuzi immediately gave up his body and wanted to escape far away. Unfortunately, Chen Tianqi had already laid out defenses. At the moment when Manhuzi's natal infant flew out, the 5 elements of divine light once again shone brightly. Manhuzi's natal infant was instantly reduced to ashes. And the 3-eyed leopard also exploded with the death of its master. Chen Tianqi put away Manhuzi's storage bag, flew out of the sea, and took a deep breath. Unexpectedly, 2 shots of the 5 elements of divine light consumed half of the mana. It seems that the current limit is only 4 shots of the 5 elements of divine light. Then he looked at the 2 directions in which Ji Yin and Liu Dao Jisheng fled, hesitated for a moment, and finally decided to catch up with Ji Yin and kill him. The scenery around the 6th path of Supreme Saint Yuanying quickly passed by. His face was uncertain, and he muttered to himself, "I underestimated him. I didn't expect that." As a result, after running only 20 or 30 miles, he was caught up by the netherworld dragon transformed by Chen Tianqi's Netherfire divine ability. The 6th path of Supreme Saint was horrified and waved the 3 gods' white bone banner. A layer of mysterious black light shrouded his body, trying to resist the attack of the netherworld dragon. Both of them are means to attack the soul. The black light of the 3 gods' white bone banner and the netherworld dragon are intertwined, and the scene suddenly becomes chaotic and mysterious. The power of the netherworld dragon is getting more and more fierce, but the 6th path of Supreme Saint is still waving the 3 gods' white bone banner. The power of the soul is getting stronger and more condensed under his control. The surrounding space seems to be torn apart by this battle of souls, and the dark wind of the netherworld whistles past. In an instant, the netherworld dragon expands and explodes, and a huge soul-devouring force sweeps over. Seeing this, the 6th path of Supreme Saint directly threw the 3 gods' white bone banner over, and tried his best to stimulate the power of the magic weapon. Then the 6th path of Supreme Saint's nascent soul turned around and fled, regardless of. Ji Yin was not as lucky as the 6th path of Saints in escaping. With his body destroyed and his Yuanying severely injured, he escaped for more than 10 miles before being hit by a hot laser and falling into the sea. After a while, Ji Yin's Yuanying flew out of the sea, but his body was covered with cracks, and he vomited blood, and continued to escape in one direction. But his speed was not as fast as before. After only 1 or 2 incense sticks, Chen Tianqi caught up with Ji Yin with a mark on the laser beam. Ji Yin's Yuanying was still running away at this time, and suddenly Yuanying felt a chill, and a giant hand covering the sky had come behind him and grabbed him. Ji Yin's Yuanying ignited black flames, and his speed suddenly increased to a higher level, but the giant hand still followed closely behind. After 1 or 2 breaths, Ji Yin's Yuanying was imprisoned in it. Chen Tianqi came to the young version of Ji Yin's Yuanying, who was tightly bound by the magic of wood and earth. At this time, he was already covered with scars, as if he would break apart in the next moment. The extremely yin Yuanying's breath was weak, and his tone was somewhat unwilling. He smiled miserably, as if he was recalling something. "I didn't expect you to be so powerful just after you broke through the nascent soul stage. I should have noticed it earlier. I shouldn't have been bewitched by the 6 paths. I have been walking on thin ice all my life. It was not easy for me to become a Yuanying cultivator and practice the supernatural power of Xiandu corpse fire. I am unwilling to die like this." Chen Tianqi frowned and looked at Jian, who was starting to show off. Could it be that this old guy was too seriously injured and was going to sit and die directly? Just as Chen Tianqi was slightly puzzled, Jian Yuanying suddenly had a ferocious look on his face, his eyes were fierce, and he spit out a stream of Xiandu corpse fire from his mouth to attack Chen Tianqi. Chen Tianqi was hit by the Xiandu corpse fire before he could reach it, and the black flames burned on his body. Then the huge magic power in Jian Yuanying's body was constantly compressed, and in an instant the Yuanying burst into dazzling light, and the sky seemed to have given birth to a sun. Boom! There was a violent roar, like a Tsar nuclear bomb falling. In the sky, a huge mushroom cloud rose from the sea, rushed straight into the high atmosphere, swept across the sea, and set off huge waves. A moment later, a disheveled figure flew out of the mushroom cloud. At this time, Chen Tianqi was in tattered clothes, and a trace of blood flowed from the corner of his mouth. The Xiandu corpse fire did not cause him too much trouble. When it was wrapped around his body, it was swallowed by the vortex in the body of the nascent soul. But he didn't expect that this old guy would sneak attack and then self-destruct the nascent soul. If Chen Tianqi had not had a body of steel and an unparalleled physical body, he would have survived the self-destruction of the nascent soul and suffered only a slight injury. If it were someone else, he would have overturned and returned to the underworld. Originally, Chen Tianqi was thinking that people who are about to die are good at talking, so he would listen to what he would say. As a result, this scene came. It seems that he is still a little bit floating, and likes to do unnecessary things like villains. In the future, to deal with such old high-level monks, you have to kill them with thunder. There can't be any risk of rollover. End of this chapter. Thank you so much for reading until the end. Don't forget to give it a like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription or donation encourages us to continue. Thank you all. See you in the next video.